wrestling fans, and welcome to the Wrestle Talk Podcast. For the next 2 hours, we will bring you the latest pro wrestling news, in-depth analysis of all your favorite promotions from across the globe, and much, much more. We will also bring you exclusive interviews with the greatest professional wrestling personalities on the local, national, and international levels. If you want to follow the Wrestle Talk Podcast, check us out online at www.wrestletalkpodcast.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. And now, it's time for the reigning, defending, undisputed leader in pro wrestling podcast, the Wrestle Talk Podcast.
Good evening, Wrestle Talk Podcast family. It is yours truly, Gabriel Arsen, joining you tonight for episode 462 of the Wrestle Talk Podcast. We got a lot of wrestling to talk, a lot of time to fill, and some fantastic guests that will be joining us in our second hour with Paz Ep. Violencia, Team Chancla joining us. But before we get into that, I am only a co-host, and I got to throw it to our one and only the main man himself, the Night Owl, Rene Martinez. Let's go.
Why does today feel like the most appropriate day ever to play the Mexican yell? I don't know what it could be. Maybe it's got something to do with our guests. What do you think, Gabe?
I just think it's the Latino energy we're going to get in this because for those who don't know, I am Puerto Rican. So we got Puerto Rico. I'm assuming Mexico, correct?
Oh, sí,
Fair enough. And there we go. And then our guests, they are just drenching in it, in that Latino energy. So absolutely, I think it's very fitting.
Dude, absolutely. And I'll tell you what, man, I am so excited. For those of you that are tuning in for the very first time, welcome to the Wrestle Talk Podcast. Pleasure to have you here in our household. If you stick around long enough with us and you vibe with us, you might even be lucky enough to become a member of the Wrestle Talk family. Also, little bit notes to some of you guys, we are regularly giving stuff away here. Just last week, we found a great individual, somebody that cooperates or contributes to the show on a consistent basis. We went ahead and got that Rick Boogs shirt shipped out. So again, here on the Wrestle Talk Podcast, guys, if you get an opportunity to chime in and you want to be a part of the show, you're more than welcome to do that, particularly during the first half hour to 40 minutes of the show, where we are tackling what most people's favorite, the Wrestle Talk Podcast High Spot segment. But we'll get there because tonight we got some business to handle before we actually kick off the segments. Before we go any further, Gabe, how the hell have you been? How's your health? How's your family? Got to make sure we start there.
Well, to start, I'm actually starting one of my first shows for my new job soon. So all that pocket's going to come to me. It's commission, but I'm pretty confident in my ability. I've actually been working on my script. So it's definitely making me confident on behalf of the wrestling side of things, because maybe not needing a script in the future, but knowing how to talk. Night Owl stuff.
Yeah, this is the Wrestle Talk family. The Wrestle Talk Podcast is our home. And if you're here often enough, you can be the redheaded stepchild of the family, like you, Jared. You remember Home Alone that we hear the holiday season? You remember Kevin's older brother, the redheaded brother? Do you remember him? Buzz. That's Jared.
Jared, that's want us growing on his ass.
That's right. Remember when Kevin pulls out the picture of his girlfriend and he's like, woof. Yo, I'm just playing, Jared. Shout out. Yo, speaking of prizes, Jared recently, a couple of months ago, at most, took home one of our giveaways. I believe it was a Wrestle Talk Podcast lunchbox, a Mick Foley lunchbox. So again, if you tune in and you vibe with us and you become a member of the family, who knows? We might actually give you some shit.
There you go. We like to help our family out here, man. You know,
I don't think he liked the Buzz comparison. He said he's going to call CM Punk. Yeah, so that'll be two of you guys crying about it.
Yeah, right. Just call CM Punk and tell him Night Owl hates him.
That's right. Do it.
Right?
Yo, you know what's crazy? Gabe, if you go far back enough when we first started videos on the Wrestle Talk Podcast, bro, I used to have a cardboard cutout of Phil behind me. Like a whole 5 foot tall Like, instead of this sign right here that you see that says the episode number and everything, bro, it was literally
It's like a big
dude. Yeah, it was a full-size
Wow.
cardboard cutout of good old Philip. And now I can't stand the guy, man. One day we'll have to. Who knows? Maybe today is the day we'll get into that.
There
I
you
don't
go.
know. Maybe.
CM
But before we, that's right. Well, there you go.
I used to go with CM Skunk. I thought it was clever.
CM Chump. There's a lot of good ones out there.
Of
Let me see here.
course. They rate themselves.
Get him, bro. I seen an Undertaker one for like $26 on Amazon, by the way.
I keep it out to keep the burglars out.
But honestly, bro, I don't know if I want look this picture right here that my man Rick Maverick gave me. He's a wrestler from St. Louis, a good friend as well. He gave me this a couple Christmases ago, bro. I don't know if there's anything that could top this. Other than it being signed, if I could get this signed back here, bro, it's framed in the whole nine, dude. It's freaking incredible. So I don't know if I want to put Phil behind me again. Yeah, it's bad as shit. Exactly.
Well, I definitely know you don't want him behind you now.
Pause. I don't want him, especially not behind me. You did. That's a little weird.
Hold up.
Hold up now. As I say out on the East Coast, pause, brother. Pause. All right. We got business to handle. We're having way too much fun. Okay, so first things first.
On a podcast. What do you
that's
think
right.
this is?
We're going to talk some shit, that's for sure. I'm actually going to let you take lead here in terms of giving homage or paying homage to all of our wonderful sponsors. So we'll go ahead and get that ticker rolling for you. Gabriel, if you don't mind, help us acknowledge all of our wonderful sponsors by going through them. Por favor, my friend.
Absolutely. So Wrestle Talk Podcast wants to thank our fantastic sponsors, including Royal Mills Transportation, head by one CEO, Mr. DeJuan Mills, Nobleman's Barber Lounge, head in Kansas City, Missouri, Kincaid Arcade at Oak Park Mall, Interstate 70 Sports Media, Little Popeye Designs. That's where you can get your Wrestle Talk Podcast tumbler, and the FWWC, the world's premier fantasy wrestling group, head by one Arsene Current. I'm just saying, we had a couple of announcements recently. For those of you who are in the Wrestle Talk podcast, a lot of stuff is changing, and you may or may not see a couple of faces in there. So just be sure to keep your eyes open. Oh, shout out to Aaron Wallace, by the way. You're not late, brother. You just came in at the right time. We're just getting started here. What's that? You're mic'd. You're mute. Yep. You're good.
Oh no, yeah, I was repeating exactly what you said. I said, Aaron Wallace, you are not late, my friend. You are right on time. Thank you for being here. The only thing that we ask is this: we're going to give you some great wrestling content. We're going to be here with you throughout the entirety of the evening, probably till about 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern time. We're going to bring some great guests, guys. But if you have the opportunity, do us a solid, share this broadcast, hit the like button, and if you're feeling really generous, over on our Facebook page, there is a review section. We've got 7 reviews right now. If we can get up to 10, I'm going to give something else away. Okay? I'll announce what that is because I got a bunch of stuff up here, bro, that I'm just ready to give away. I got a Bootio's lunchbox. I got an old WWE Superstars backpack. I've got a slightly used WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I mean, I got a lot of cool stuff up here. So, again, if we can get up to 10, I'm going to pick one of those people that did the 3. That's right, just 3. We just need 3 reviews. We can get up to 10. I'll give you. Oh, there we go. Hey,
see?
Yeah. So anyway, before we get there, there's one last bit of business, and I believe we're going to have a special guest with us for at least a little bit of the high spots. I mean, I'm going to surprise you, Gabe. Hang tight. You're going to be very, very excited about this. But before we get to high spots, there's something very, very important that we must do. Especially since we're getting ready to start off a new year, ladies and gentlemen, if you would do us a favor and respectfully remove your cap if you happen to be wearing one, such as I, put your hands over your heart as we pay homage to the world's premier fantasy wrestling promotion. That's right, Gabe. It's your favorite time of the show when we hit everybody with a little bit national anthem. Let's do it, boys. For who? For the greatest country on God's green earth, America, damn it. Hit it. I said hit it. Jeez Louise, man. It gets me every time. Yeah.
I gotta find my my little. I have you saw it one time. We had it one time, but the little Patriot Eagle that I got, little stuffed animal, and he's got the Uncle Sam hat and the bow tie.
Bring him.
I gotta find him. We have him in storage somewhere, but he's
his little ass bro. You see, I always bring my homies with me. Let me show you real quick. I think you guys can see him behind me for those wondering. So right here we got the Gremlin. Okay,
is that Stripe? I can't remember.
Yeah, it is Stripe, and then on the other side we got ET. Yeah, daddy. So anyway, yeah, man. So shout out, man. Like I said, we like to keep it light around here. We're gonna have a lot of fun, but we're certainly gonna talk a lot of professional wrestling, and it may get a little heated here, Gabe. Simply because I know our opinions, and at least on some of the topics that got brought up, are not gonna match. And in case they do, there is a man in the shadows right now that's going to be joining us for the High Spot segment. So you guys be ready. I love the surprises. You never know who's going to join us. So let's go ahead and cue up the music, and we'll get into tonight's edition, episode 462 of the High Spot segment right here on the Wrestle Talk podcast, hosted by who? By the Night Owl y Gabriel Arsen. Let's hit it, y'all. Yo, DJ Money? Let's go.
Mic check. Yeah! All right. Wrestle Talk Podcast. DJ Money. Yeah. Let's go. Welcome to High Spots, where we pop news like flare chops. We talk shop, coming through the screens of the laptop. And non-stop like a runner speakers of blacktop. We hit hard like chair shots and backdrops. Like a clock flash, look like a belly flop. Now that's hard. We up to speed while they stay slow. Wrestle Talk Podcast. Now they know we about to start the show.
Hey, look who it is. Sonny Money. Welcome to the show, brother.
Sony Mayo.
Sony. Shout out to you, Vic. Shout out to Chicago, baby. Shout out to Chicago. Shout out to my boy Vic. My man was calling me Sony. And it ain't Sony. It's Sonny Money. It's Wrestle Talk Podcast. It's Tuesday night. You see the hashtag down there. Let's talk wrestling. And that's what we're here to do. Night Owl, Gabe. Straight from Florida down there, baby. I know. Oh, man, I'm so happy to be on the show with you, bro. What's up, Gabe? How you doing, bro?
We'll let Gabe answer. Wait. We'll let Gabe answer. I got a question for you, though. Why the hell are you wearing Lotto's wife beater? Yo, Lotto. He said, wife beater. Yo, Otto fit you. Hey, look, dog. Snoop Dogg got a boob job. Yo, 8 Mile all day. Go ahead, Gabe.
You know I stay in the white beater from January to December, bro. I don't care what the temperature is outside. In my house, it's like 90. I'm on the beach somewhere. That, right? I'm down there with Gabe. I'm down there with Gabe hitting some local promotions in Florida in my mind right now at the beach or something, bro. I don't care about outside weather. That's what it is.
Hey, Gabe, they coming for you, dog. They coming for you. They say you definitely want.
That's it, bro.
Contrary, sir, I'm actually Puerto Rican. Thank you very much. There's a little bit of olive in this.
I'm sorry. We're in 2020, about to be 2024.
No, he said because of your dancing, dog. He said because of your dancing. He was doing.
You were the one who told me. You were the one who told me that John Cena got that from someone.
Yo, ask Sonny. Where did John Cena get this?
G-Unit.
Exactly. Tony J, man.
Because I can't help it, man. I was vibing to a song the other day, and I just started doing it, and I'm like, now I understand why Cena does it. Yeah, when you're really in the zone, it hits. It hits.
Yo, shout out to the comment section there, boy. My boy always said I need to find the groove. I don't know if that was towards me or Gabe or whatever, but listen, there's really no groove. Like, I'm doing the best I can.
In this whole podcast.
Like I'm in my own space, and I'm just two-stepping, in the pro wrestling world. That's what I'm doing. So I'm here for a reason, Night Owl. I'm here for a reason, Gabe. Let's talk some wrestling, bro. I ain't trying to talk no white beaters and Puerto Rican white dancing. I'm here to talk some high spots, all right? So, what's the deal?
Okay, I'd like to hear that, baby. Let's go ahead and fire it up here.
Shots fired!
Yo, my man said we ain't here to talk shit. We're here to talk wrestling. Okay, are you guys ready to cue up the randomizer and get into tonight's first topic of the Wrestle Talk Podcast High Spot segment?
Spin that wheel.
You guys ready to hit it?
Yep.
Okay, boys in the back, you know what to do. Hit the randomizer. Let's get the first topic on the board. Oh, shit. Here we go. Oh, my gosh. Okay, question. Gabe, you mind reading that off the board for us, my friend?
Who took RD.1 in the verbal sparring, or excuse me, who took round 1 in the verbal sparring match between CM Punk and Seth Rollins on Monday Night Raw? Are we trying to throw this to Sonny? Because I think he's already ready to go for this one.
Yo, I'm ready. I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready. If you want to take the lead on this one.
Look at Night Owl. He don't even want nowhere to be seen. He don't want nothing to do with this. He went to the kitchen. He's getting ready for Chancla violence here in the later on in the show.
Yep.
All right, so let me preface this, okay? For everybody who's followed me on social media, I am a CM Punk fan. I am a Phil Brooks fan. I've been a Phil Brooks fan for a long time. Way before WWE, original Ring of Honor days, original indie days, original getting on MySpace and Steve'sWrestlingWorld.com on AOL back in the day, using my mom's internet.
He was on
That's how far back I go on CM Punk. Yeah, very far. So here's the thing: I've not had the privilege to get on Wrestle Talk podcast since CM Punk returned. I've had a lot of banner. I did a Facebook Live video. Me and Renee have had phone calls, text messages, back and forth. He's not with it. I'm with it. All right. And that seems to be what it is with this wrestling world. It seems to be very 50-50. There seems to be a lot of Phil lovers and a lot of Phil haters. All right. I'm the Phil lover. So with all that being said, let's get to the question at hand here. Who do you think took round 1 in the verbal sparring match between CM Punk and Monday Night Rollins on Monday Night Rollins? Listen, as far as what happened Monday night, Rollins took it. How could he not take that? Did Phil say anything really memorable on Monday night, especially in that back and forth? Now, I'm not saying Rollins came out there with the knockout promo either, because Rollins almost verbatim said to CM Punk on Monday night is what he said to Cody Rhodes when Cody Rhodes returned to WWE. This ain't your home. This is my home. I'm defending it from people like you. You couldn't take the heat, so you ran away. Bah, 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 bah. I was expecting a little bit more out of Phil on the back and forth, but that's okay because Phil has gave me what I want so far. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch last week's SmackDown. All right, my man let it fly off the handle a little bit like we've been kind of expecting Pipe Bomb Phil to do since he's returned to WWE. Now, with that being said, I'm glad Phil did not unload the clip on Monday Night Rollins. Let's build this program up. And obviously, I think what everybody can see, the writing on the wall is it's going to be night 1 of WrestleMania. It's going to be the main event. Are you hyped for that, game? Because I'm hyped for that. I mean, I think that's what it's going to be. Am I wrong there or what?
I'd be lying if I said I didn't think that match wouldn't be main evented.
You're right, because I'm gonna be listen, dog. I'm gonna be pissed if they're like, we about to do it in Saudi Arabia. Nah. You know that's night 1. You know that's night 1 main event. Unless they're about to come at me with something even better, which I can't think of nothing better at the moment. Like, don't add Gunther to the mix. Don't add no one to the mix. Don't fucking. There's legit heat there. There's legit beef there. And now they see that it can be money, and now they're doing business. But like even when Vince was in charge, he liked it when guys had a little bit of that legit heat with each other. You know what I mean? It made the product better. Like Rock and Austin. They got along, but they both legit want to be number 1. Like they wanted that number 1. They both wanted that belt. They wanted that extra money. They want that merchandise money. You know what I mean? So as far as the question, and I'm gonna pass it along to you fellas here, I'm giving Monday night to Rollins, all right? Because I'm just as much of a Rollins fan as I am CM Punk, but I'm giving round 1 to Rollins. But with that preface, just wait. Because Phil's about to come with some shit on that ass, all right? So just wait.
Shit on that. Come on. Come on, bro. You gotta relax. You gotta relax. At least you didn't say shit on the tip. Okay, that's fine.
Take a drink of beer on that.
I like that limited edition Wrestle Talk podcast mug you got there, Sonny.
I feel naked with that one.
That thing is sexy, boy. I like that.
We
got the tumbler too, Gabe.
I hope y'all didn't miss out, man. I hope y'all because look, we can still get the tumblers. Ain't that correct, Night Owl?
Yes, that's
the
right.
tumblers are still available.
Little Popeye.
But listen, if you didn't get on board between now and the episode we on right now, and we
Gabe,
were talking,
you're excused, Gabe, because you're new. So
you're
your fault.
I got a mulligan.
Mulligan. I want to read this comment off, and then Gabe, I don't want to interrupt you because I'm real good at that. You know, I'm prima donna 2.0. But I want to go ahead and read this off because it's important. It says, Jared says, Punk definitely won that round, contrary to what Sonny believes, at least on this particular promo that we're discussing. But I will say it's already showing hints of Seth dropping the title to Punk at 40. Punk for life, F the haters.
All right,
Gabe?
so hold on, and then I'm going to let you go. But
you want to retort? Go ahead, retort.
I want to preface this real quick. Let me preface this real quick. I do not believe Rollins should drop the title to CM Punk at WrestleMania.
Really? Why do you think that?
Some CM Punk's back to put guys over? You really?
I don't know about that.
You really think that?
I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to be mad. But listen, name me, Night Out. I want you to answer this question for me, dog.
Are we going to let Gabe go?
Name me a premium Seth Rollins win. What's the first premium Seth Rollins win that comes to your mind?
Like while he's been champion?
And just since he's been in WWE, what's the first premium win that he's got? Okay, besides his cash in at WrestleMania against Brock and Roman, I know what you mean by that. One of the years he opened WrestleMania with Brock. Like, name me a premium Seth Rollins win. You don't think that would stamp everything that Rollins has done and holding Monday Night Rollins down
to be a guy that's way
down?
Okay, go ahead. Finish. I want to let you finish.
Well, listen, because here's the thing, and bro, I'm just as much of a Rollins fan as I am a Punk fan.
Nah, I don't believe that.
How you gonna tell me you ain't gonna believe? I don't believe you brushed your teeth this morning. I see this podcast how it's fucking going. Nah, I don't mean nothing. You ain't trying to see my gingivitis right now, bro.
It was bleach.
If I do that, you see the viewers drop off. We ain't gonna do that right now. Y'all just see him drinking his beer in the Wrestle Talk podcast mug. Listen, bro, I'm telling you. Tell me I'm wrong here. If Rollins wins at WrestleMania, that's not a premium win because everybody and your mother. My man Gabe down there in Florida right now believes that Rollins is going to drop the title of Mania. Why?
Hold on. Jared said that. I don't know if Gabe said that.
But Gabe, ask Gabe.
All right, Gabe. Listen, you've heard us go back and forth a little bit. We've heard from the comment section. I think we're all anxious about this. I'll tell you why. Because old guy number 1 doesn't like Punk. Old guy number 2 likes Punk. I want to hear, and I know we keep playing in this age thing. I hate to discriminate against you, but I think you've got to have a little bit of a different perspective from us, bro. Lay it on us. Educate the old guys. Go.
So, in regards to the question, I've only seen Rollins' half of it, but to add on what Sonny was saying, I think he did hit all the bases that we expect. That's the same thing that he said to Cody, but I think with Punk, it hits a lot harder because with Cody, it was more of a moral thing. You know, it was more, he wasn't content in AEW, and it's like, oh, you couldn't cut it there, so you came crawling back. You couldn't live with your failures, and that brought you right back to me. But with Punk, because of how, palpable and, tense it is, that's all he had to say. So just like he said that, CM Punk didn't unload his clip yet, I don't think Rollins has unloaded his clip either. Because I know he's not really known for all of his best promos, but I also think people need to sit back and rewatch that feud with Balor because he got some barbs in there when it came as far as the match goes. So as far as the round 1 in the match itself, Rollins is taking it. But then as far as the match is concerned, a lot of signs are pointing towards Rollins dropping the belt towards Punk, especially because it seems like, who was going to take the belt from him after that? I mean, think about the number of people he's already lost beat already. He's beaten Nakamura, twice now? Drew McIntyre, Finn Balor again. And then what else? Did he face Damian Priest yet? I can't remember. But it's one of those things where could he benefit from this win? I could definitely see it. But I also definitely think who else is going to take the belt off of him if nobody else? I mean, who is destined to dethrone Rollins for that belt given the number of names as he has? Because if he does beat Punk, who's next? That's all I want to throw out to you guys, just to throw it in.
Wow. Sonny, you want to respond to that before I go?
Nah, man. I mean, listen, dog. I listen, between what he's saying and I agree with you, Gabe. I'm a little discouraged right now. All right, Night Owl, I really am. Because you
So
get right
funny.
there.
Wait till you
No,
hear
no,
what I'm
no,
about
right
to
there,
say.
right there on the screen. Right there on the screen. I'm so tired of Chris Rodell's punk ass because he won't fight me at WrestleMania on a quick trip pizza on
Universe
the ladder
Mania.
match, bro. I'm
Universe,
tired of it. And he's
Universe
just
Mania.
slandering my name,
And
bro.
by the way, hey, listen, I tried y'all, both of y'all are pussyfooting because here's what I said.
I'm already
Arsene.
FWWC.
Okay, right. And maybe it's Rodell. In the FWWC, we could facilitate a quick trip versus Wawa Pizza on a pole match in the FW. Shut up, Gabe. And then we could also do a Four Locos ladder match if we need to. But Rodell, one of y'all is not signing the contract because here's what we could do. At Royal Rumble for the FWWC, you could have once in a lifetime members, guys that aren't even active in the FWWC. Y'all could settle your differences by what?
Right.
By fighting each other? No. By calling each other names on the internet? No. Y'all could actually put your wrestling knowledge to the test. Who picks the winner of the Royal Rumble match, the women's, the tag defense, the title matches? You know how the game goes in the FWWC. So if y'all want to settle something and you don't want to bet real money and you don't want to throw hands, then what better way to settle it? I got a special guest ref for you right here. Hold on. Right there. Special guest ref right there.
Let me do this for you, Night Owl. All right. This is a Wrestle Talk podcast exclusive right here.
Too.
Okay?
Susie
This
too.
is a Wrestle Talk podcast exclusive for you gentlemen right here.
Oh shit, here we go.
Oh, breaking
Chris
news.
Rodell, you know that I'm going to be in St. Louis in May. You know this. I will be at Herb Simmons SICW FanFest 2 at the Aviator Hotel in May. So what I propose to you is grow some cojones, come sign the contract. Let's go FWWC Royal Rumble, okay? If I win, I will pick the stipulation of what you have to eat. I won't do nothing crazy, no toenails or crazy shit. I'll find something you dislike, and you will have to eat that on camera when I come there in May. If I lose and you win, when I come there in May, I will eat a whole Quick Trip pizza in front of you on camera live for everyone to see. All right? There's your challenge, bro.
What
A whole
happens
one,
if there's
not
a
the slice.
draw?
You hear me, Night Owl?
What happens if they're the draw?
I'll eat a
Will you
whole
both take a
pizza
slice?
at the Aviator Hotel, Quick Trip pizza for the whole world to see. If I lost, look, my dogs are pissed
No,
off.
wait a minute.
That.
I think Jared's confused. So just state your case briefly. You're the Wawa guy, and Rodell's the Quick Trip guy, right? So Jared, if you're pro
guy,
Wawa,
and I told him that shit's trash, and it is. Quick Trip pizza's trash, bro. You ain't telling me nothing.
Wait, so Jared, just so you're clear, Mayo is the Wawa guy.
Right.
Road Dog is the Quick Trip guy. That's who they. I mean, dude, we need to get a sponsorship out of this shit.
Buc-ee's, Casey's.
Come on, man. Come on,
yo,
man. We need a sponsorship.
Something, bro. What's up, Assad?
Shout out to Lucha.
Good to see you, Luchador. How you doing?
So yeah, man. Listen, let's get back on track here.
Are y'all ready for the kid?
What's that?
Are y'all ready for my take on this CM Punk question?
I'm definitely ready. Let me just say right quick.
Go ahead.
On my man over there. Yo, Gabe, yeah, I agree with you. Rollins hasn't unloaded the clip fully yet, but I think he has it in him. And you kind of said that. I think he has it in him. Yeah, he's lost to Nakamura and whatever. And like, who could that be a premium win for him? I think, and Renee, I think you'll agree with me on this, bro. I would like to see Rollins lose the title to Gunther. I think that I'm in it for the guys because this is what CM Punk bitched about fucking 10 years ago when Rock was coming back for WrestleMania. The guys who ain't been in the trenches all year doing house shows in Springfield, Missouri in December, Christmas week and all that shit. And Rock shows up against Mania. Punk's doing the same shit. So that's what I'm kind of saying. Like Punk ain't put his time in WWE on this go round. I don't think you should get the title of Mania. So
and then I want to throw this to Night Out just before we got just not to cut you off, Night Out, but just one last thing on the CM Punk topic in regards to Mania. What better way to show this man is on the up and up than putting Rollins over? because we all know if he gets night 1, he gets his main event. That's all he's ever wanted, right?
Right.
He never wanted the belt. So what better way than to show everybody I just wanted my main event and I put Rollins over just to show you all that I mean fucking business. Just throwing that out there.
Well said.
Throw it to you, Naito.
That was extremely well said. And again, shout out to you guys for the comments. We are still looking for reviews, guys. So go on the main
We only need
Facebook.
2 more, I think. I think
That's
somebody
right.
already did one during the track.
Yeah, shout out to my man for doing that. But anyway, so on the main Facebook page, and I know the old one's still active. It's the one with the white background, not the black background when you're looking at our logo. And you'll see all the most recent stuff on there. So if it looks outdated, it's the wrong page. Block it so you don't see it anymore. But this new one, if you can go on there, you just scroll down a little bit, you leave a review. We're looking for 10 reviews tonight. If we can get 10 reviews by the end of the night, we're going to give away some merch next week. It's that simple, right? And by the way, a little bit of breaking news. Next week, we are doing the 2023 recap show, and we'll have the majority of the hosts on next week. It's only a 1-hour show. It's not going to go super long, no more than an hour and a half. You guys know we always go over, but we're going to talk about all the best wrestling moments of 2023 for each individual host, like what we personally think was the biggest wrestling moment, and also our favorite memory for 2023 in the Wrestle Talk podcast. So fam, make sure you guys are there, 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. That is next week, I believe, December 19th, 7 p.m., 8 Eastern Time. So make sure you guys
I'll be there. And just a little sneak peek, my favorite wrestling moment is Nikita Lyons. Anything with her this year, that was my favorite wrestling moment. Or Rhea Ripley.
I think we got a drop for that. Would you guys allow me to hint the boys to the back? Boys, do we have a for that? Yeah. Oh, that return, boy.
Anyway, night out.
Now I got to talk about CM Punk.
I'm waiting.
You've been putting this on long enough.
You did that. You did that on purpose, bro. You threw me for a loop right before I got to talk about Phil. I see how you did that. It's all right, bro. It's all right. I'm about to get my Yoshi on. Don't worry. Okay. So here's what I'm going to say. First, I want to answer the question because you know how people will get on a topic and then they won't ever answer the question. So, number one, by leaps and bounds, Seth Rollins handled his business and almost, I think, and this is what Punk is known for, Dean Ambrose is real good at this as well, John Moxley, is they bring an intimidating presence, not so much physically, but intellectually. Like with what they say, I think most people, when they get in the ring with a guy like that, they figure that they're a little overmatched. So they try to keep it simple and they try not to go over their bounds because they figure CM Punk is better on the mic. CM Punk is better on the mic than I am. There was a couple of guys that refused to do that, and I think that was part of the issue that led to him leaving AEW. See one Hangman Page, okay? So what has had to happen now, I think, and Sonny, this is where you're going to be shocked. I think we actually are seeing a new CM Punk. His eyes during that promo said something to me. And what they said is, I will take whatever you guys will dish back at me so that I can be in this place. And that is not what his mentality was when he walked away. I think that he felt like they needed him more than he needed them. And I think now that he's been over there, he knows that he needs to be here. So genuinely, because I feel like part of that promo was shoot, I feel like he was generally contrite. And I think somebody said, hey, bro, you're going to have to deal with this at first. You're going to have to hear all the shit that's true.
You got to finish your greens first, and then you get
your dessert. Dog. Then you can move on to the good stuff, because I think a lot of what Seth said was true. And that's why it felt different from Cody's, okay? And I want to also answer your question, Sonny. What notable match has Seth Rollins had up to this point that you can point to and go, that was his marquee win? You know what, bro? You're right. The Money in the Bank cash-in was it. He needs it, but he doesn't need it as much as Punk does. Because Seth said, this is your last chance to save your legacy. If CM Punk doesn't wrestle another match today, like beyond today, say that nothing ever happens, tomorrow he gets in arguing with somebody backstage and he leaves, okay? Seth Rollins is still going to be one of the greatest of all times at the end of it, because you know he's there for the long run. With Punk, there are a lot of questions that guys like me have about him. And what I saw in his eyes last night, Sonny Money and Gabe, said to me, this guy has finally matured enough to take the criticism that are going to be levied to him by somebody that's better at this than him. And the moniker, I am the best in the world, I think it has always worked against him because I think that like he got the Bret Hart thing going in his head. I really get and understand this business better than anybody except for two guys, Vince McMahon and Triple H. And those are the two men that happen to be his bosses now. And the fact that he's accepted their leadership and the fact that he's willing to eat that green before he gets to the protein, dude, it was so refreshing, Sonny. I'm going to be the first to say here today, I am uber excited just based on what I've seen. Not the first two promos, but the promo from last night. I am uber excited to see what he brings to the table because I feel like the ego, the moment he walked out the door, bro, it was gone. Because, again, everything Seth said was true, particularly this is your last effing chance, dude. And if you want to be you want to have the legacy that I think that we all know you want to have, I'm the gatekeeper. I'm the one that's going to keep you from doing it. And the fact that CM Punk was able to absorb and accept what Seth said last night and it didn't turn into some backstage controversy, at least as of yet, I think is super encouraging. And I think there's going to be more of it. And by the time this program is done, I would totally agree with you guys. And I certainly hope CM Punk doesn't win the championship. I think that he'll main event WrestleMania. He'll be able to say, hey, I did what I said I was going to do. And I think he'll come back Cody-esque. Okay. And what I mean by that is truly appreciative. He went back to the JV. He got sent back to third string. What do you call that? AAA ball, Sonny? Is that what they call it?
Yeah, AAA. Yeah.
He got sent back down there, bro, and the money wasn't curing it. His amazing wife wasn't curing it. He wants to operate at the very peak of his industry, and the only place to do that is behind those two men, Vince and Trip. And the fact that he kind of put his ego to the side now, you could see it in his eyes last night, bro, is super encouraging. The fact that he was willing to take it was awesome. And here's what I'll say. I think CM Punk won that promo last night.
Really?
Why? Because he was willing to stand there and take it like a fucking man. When
Right.
you grew up and you dropped the ball and you spilt the milk, you got to clean that shit up and you got to hear the guy say, I fucking told you not to move the milk. And
Yep.
he did that last night. So for that reason, untraditionally, I think CM Punk won the promo because he went out there and took the crow, right? The shit on the tip that Sonny, or the shit in the ass that he was talking about.
Yeah, that shit in the ass, boy.
You know, I didn't think, Sonny, I'll be honest, I didn't think that he was going to be willing to swallow the pill. And, bro, he did it exceptionally, and I'm excited for it. And so for me, again, going back to the question, I think CM Punk won last night because he was willing to stand in front of the ring in front of 20,000 people and 1 million people watching at home and go, I know I have this coming. I deserve it. When Hangman did it, he wasn't willing to accept it. When Colt did it, he wasn't willing to accept it. When Tony did it, he wasn't willing to accept it. The Bucks and Omega, he didn't want to accept it because they aren't those two guys. But
listen,
now, hold on.
go ahead.
He's
Go ahead.
now rescinded the authority to those two guys, and I think he's better for it, bro. And I think, honestly, the future is so bright, and I'm so excited. And no matter what happens, whether he wins the title or not, bro, this run will be the most fulfilling run of Punk's career because all that bullshit is to the side, and now my man can focus on what's most important, entertaining and putting off fucking killer matches because God knows the boy can tell a story and inside and outside the ring. Those are my
but Night Owl, what's changed? You were the number one proponent when he was in AEW saying my man can't go in the ring. He's 45. He's beat the fuck up. Listen, he put a lot. Hold on.
Neither
He
can
put
LA
a
Knight.
lot of miles. He
LA
put a
Knight
lot
can't
of
wrestle
miles
either.
on that body, boy. Even before he signed to WWE back in 06, he did a lot of fucking miles on that body in Ring of Honor in the Indies. A lot of miles. And we seen it in AEW, even in his happy moments at AEW. He can't go like Phil went 10, 15 years ago, bro. So okay, say by chance he wins the title at Mania. What's that look like? You think he's going to be hitting Springfield, Missouri in a Tuesday?
Well, let me answer that just quick. I want to answer that quickly. I don't think that he has to, Sonny. I think if he does have a title reign, it won't be a long title reign. And just look at guys like LA Knight. Nobody's going to sit here and argue with me that this dude has technical prowess, but he knows how to do just enough to put on an entertaining match. and people want to hear him talk. So you don't have to be freaking Dean Malenko to be successful in the WWE. That's not the way their system is constructed.
Right.
Exactly. And I want to add that sorry, not to cut you off, Sonny Money, but I do want to add that of all people that can make a move set count, because I think back to an interview with Scott Hall where you notice he doesn't do a lot of flashy stuff. Exactly. Got to give it to the Batman. But
my all-time favorite. Night Out knows that. That's my heart right there, bro.
But he understood that it's, what you do with the time you're not doing moves. And if anybody understands that better than anyone, it's CM Punk, where he doesn't need to do buckshot lariats and 630s. We just need to see him hit an Anaconda Vice.
You need to see him tell a story, bro. And it don't take much to tell a story. And that's why me and Night Owl love hitting up all the local promotions over here in the Kansas side, the Missouri side. And real quick, special shout out to Jason Jones, Stephen E., and everybody at Mid-States Sunday night, St. Joe, 5 p.m. I'm going to be in the building. I don't know if Night Out, maybe not, I'll be there. But Sonny Money will be in the building representing Wrestle Talk Podcast. Mid-States Wrestling makes its return to St. Joe, Missouri after 15 years. My bad, Gabe. I had to throw that in real quick. They're showing a lot of love to Wrestle Talk Podcast. I got to show love back. So
there you go. We wouldn't be here without them. I love taking time out for the family. But I mean, as far as the mileage goes, I mean, yeah, he's got a lot of damage, but I also think that WWE style is a lot safer too.
Sure.
They very much have an emphasis on just telling the story you need.
Flip pile drivers and brain busters
using real glass.
Yeah,
remember that?
Well, yeah, no, absolutely I do. Well, look, here's my thing. I can only jump on for this high spots because my wife is going to give me a Seth Rollins curb stop if I'm any louder while she's trying to put these babies to bed here in a little minute. So I'm going to peace out after this whole CM Punk thing. But this is what I kind of got to say. Listen, I'm happy CM Punk's back, and I agree like a motherfucker with Night Owl that, yeah, Seth had to fucking take his medicine and stand there like a man and get fucking punked. Not necessarily punked, but take what was coming to him on Monday night. But here's the thing, and Triple H has said it when the night CM Punk came back, and CM Punk said it too. There's been change. CM Punk has changed. Triple H has changed. WWE has changed. And what WWE is now is what CM Punk wanted then. The problem was Vince. Vince, from all reports, and I don't know because I'm not backstage, but I am a wrestling mark, and I read dirt sheets, and I'm not too proud to say that. I read Meltzer. I read dirt sheets, all right? From all reports, with this new Endeavor and TKO group and everything, Vince ain't got that clout like that no more. Not saying that Vince ain't back there or Vince might not be calling a shot, but Vince ain't got that clout no more. That's Triple H's baby now, all right? So maybe Triple H couldn't make the moves that he wanted to do and Punk wanted to do when Punk left, but he's doing them now. You know what I mean? And listen, that's not just Punk saying that. There's a lot of wrestlers who will come out and they will do one of two things. They will politic so they can always keep their good grace and keep that dream alive to go back to WWE and go to Vince, or they will say what they actually feel and what it actually is. And not saying Vince McMahon is a bad human being or anything like that, but after the past 10 to 15 years, he definitely became out of touch for the most part with wrestling. And there's been numerous,
more like 25 to 30.
Whoa. This is a whole nother conversation. I'm gonna just say this. First of all, Vince McMahon has more power now than he ever has. He's not doing the booking. He's not doing the booking, okay? But now he's a shareholder not only in his own company, but also the UFC and TKO. That's what.
But that's the thing. He ain't doing the booking, Night Owl.
No, that's fine. Booking. You're right. But I will say this: if Vince would have had a problem with Philip coming back, Phil wouldn't have come back.
Right, but from my understanding, it's Triple H and Tony Khan.
That's true.
Like, even day-to-day operations. Not saying that Vince isn't involved in any way, but from day-to-day operations, because with all this lawsuit shit with Vince, and I'm trying not to get too off track here from Punk, but from all this day-to-day shit with Vince, he's not involved like he was. You know what I mean?
But if he says thumbs down, does the guy come into the organization? I don't think so. If he says absolutely fucking not,
maybe if he bitched it fit enough, but I mean, even Vince got on Stone Cold's Broken Skulls podcast and said that, I can let Vince brought back Hogan, Piper, everybody and their mother, bro. Vince knows business is business.
Everybody.
I mean, Vince knows business is business. So listen, with that being said, I'm saying my piecings because, again, the wife is going to super kick me when I step up them stairs for being so fucking loud on a Tuesday night, on a school night. So I got to go give my little angels a hug and kiss and prayers and teeth brush and all that. So much love to everybody in the comment section. Much love to you, Jay Hollywood. Like I said the other day, I'm long overdue with my man, the Night Owl, making our trip over there to St. Louis, maybe in May, maybe sometime then, maybe. I don't know. But much love to everybody.
Whoa, before you go, answer one question. What's this? See, Sunday? What's that mean?
That's our boy Stephen E. Boy, I'm going up there.
I know. But
yeah,
today,
I did it in Mid-States Wrestling returned to St. Joe after 15 years. After 15 years, St. Joseph, Missouri is going to see Mid-States Wrestling space Cowboy Jason Jones, the wine connoisseur Niles Plunk. I'm sorry, Niles Plunk. All right. I heard that a certain guy with a nasty spine buster, probably my favorite spine buster in the business, I think his name is Moonshine Mantel. I think he's going to be in the building. Listen, I would rather spend my hard-earned money going to MSW than wasting my time, and no shot at them, but wasting my time and going to WWE. And Night Owl, you know I'm serious about that. I have more fun going to local independent professional wrestling promotion shows than I do with WWE shows. And that's not dissing WWE, but a promotion like Mid-States Wrestling, like a top-of-the-line promotion like that, dog, I cannot wait till Sunday. So if you are in the Kansas area, or you're in the Missouri area, Nebraska, Iowa, whatever, get to St. Joe on Sunday, 5 p.m. I'm going to be in the house. Night Owl, maybe might be in the house with Sonny Money Mayo. Maybe. We might even have to throw Gabe on the Southwest Airlines flight and get his ass in the St. Joe. I don't know what's going to happen. But I know I'm going to be in the building. So Mid-States Wrestling,
baby.
St. Joe, National Guard Armory, 5 p.m. Sunday. I'm going to be in the building,
last
bro.
question.
And one last thing, Hollywood, no, my wife is not. Yo, Rachel, you ready to acknowledge your tribal chief? Yeah, she gonna fuck me up for that one.
Got him.
She gonna fuck me up for that one. So, hey, Dave, Night Owl, thank you, gentlemen, for letting me jump on. I cannot wait to get on next week to do the year-end review. I'm gonna be wearing my Nikita Lyons t-shirt. All right, so I'll be ready. We're gonna be talking wrestling next week, like we do every single Tuesday night, 7 p.m. live Wrestle Talk podcast, baby. You know how we do it.
Peace,
Best live wrestling podcast in the game today. Peace.
Today. Adios.
Oh,
Sonny effing Mayo. Gabe, any thoughts on our boy Sonny, bro? He's bringing the heat every time.
Just like a very strong personality, man. But in the good way, where it's like you want him on your show because it gets that energy. And it's like, man, look at this. We're like supercharged now. We're like, I got to match that energy. I was like the big one now, but now he's on the show instead of in the comment section.
Let's go.
takes the wheel, brother. Oh, my God.
I got to ask you this because I'm still kind of caught up in the thought. Did it surprise you that at least yours truly is starting to maybe slightly have a little bit of a change of heart concerning CM Punk? Because, bro, all I wanted to see is a little bit of humanity out of the guy. I wanted to see him to be a little contrite. And, as much as guys will jump online and say, Phil's right, Bret Hart's right, this, that, and the other thing, CM Punk did start off by apologizing. So if you didn't do nothing wrong, then why should you apologize? And he did that. So kudos to him. And I know we've got some other topics to get to. And I'm so glad that we spent this time talking about it because it is truly the biggest story in professional wrestling. And it's been a month already. Close to, right? It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So long story short, bro, thank you, Sonny, for being here. And I'm glad we were able to have this conversation. But I am curious to ask you that question. Was that odd to you, or did you get kind of where I was coming from when I said I think he won the promo?
I definitely I mean, I was more surprised about your answer. I was like, really? Okay, Night Owl is
I didn't
starting to change
expect
his
it.
stance. I mean, look, well, then that goes to show you just how effective this is. Because Renee, when you say things and you're like, I'm as serious as a heart attack when you feel something about wrestling, you know you got to take it seriously. Because like, there's a reviewer I follow. He says it perfectly. He was talking about how he's like, I hate anime, I hate JRPGs, and he's like, just all this shit. So he's like, when I tell you Persona 5, an anime JRPG, some good shit, you got to look at me and go, damn.
Believe me when I tell you.
Exactly. So it's like when Renee says that I'm not a huge fan of Punk and his attitude, and when you reel back and say, okay, but I appreciated this segment for what it entails, that means check out the segment, folks. That means something for the horizon.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you the biggest thing for me, man, just above anything else, is I don't think anyone is above or beyond forgiveness. And the fact that they were able to mend the fences enough to open up that door again. I mean, just look at the shirt. It says hell froze over, right? Like, yeah, CM Punk, hell would have to freeze over before CM Punk goes back to WWE. And sure enough, hell froze over. He's back. And I think we're all going to reap the rewards of it. And here's the best part. Even if wrestling is boring on any particular week, we always got good old Phil that we can talk about. So that's a win for everybody, if you ask me.
We're going to be talking about him until we die, bro. We're going to be filming this podcast in the afterlife, still talking about CM Punk's run.
We're like, our corpses are still talking about CM Punk. It's clobbering time.
Yeah, it's just like we're like the crypt keeper in the
Oh my God. Yeah, just that crazy ass laugh. I do want to take a quick moment because we are coming to the end of the first hour to thank all of our wonderful sponsors, starting with Royal Mills Transportation, facilitated by our friend DeJuan Mills. Of course, Nobleman's Barber Lounge in Kansas City, Missouri. Thank you guys. Make sure you let them know the Wrestle Talk podcast sent you. King Kate Arcade at the Oak Park Mall. Great for hosting events, not just an awesome arcade. And then right next door, Retro Zone. I-70 Sports Media. Jeremy Karp, shout out. You guys already know the Wrestle Talk podcast Tumblr. Good for coffee, good for water, good for anything else. And, of course, the world's premier fantasy wrestling promotion, the FWWC. I'm sure Hoss would be proud. Absolutely love it, dude. First hour, yay, nay? What do you think?
First hour on one question alone, brother. Let that sink in. That we talked enough just on one question.
Are you ready to hit the randomizer?
Absolutely. We got to move on.
Right, we still got about 20 minutes before the Luchas join us.
Yeah, by all means. Let's get a little bit in so we can get
Lucha. Let's do it. Okay, guys in the back, you know what to do. Hit the randomizer. Let's move on to the next topic. Oh, yes! Yes, I was hoping this would come back up again. I know we got a chance to touch on it a little bit last week.
Well, now we got 20 minutes.
All right, here's one. Okay, here we go. So, and we'll go through a few of these. I know you wanted to get to this the last week, Gabe, and we didn't get a chance. Kota Ibushi facing Nakushima. How did I say that right?
Naomichi.
Okay, that was close.
Naomichi Marufuji.
I've been practicing.
You need
that was not very good. Okay, Naomichi Marufuji.
Yep.
Okay, so we all know who Kota Ibushi is.
You better now. He's on AEW television. You better know who the
Lovers.
Fuck he is.
We know the whole deal. Him,
Before the CWC, I was like, okay, I understand he's only in Japan. Now, if you don't know who the fuck this man is, I'm not doing my job. I'm gonna fight you on the side of the street. No, I love.
Okay, no. But tell us about Marufuji and why we should care about this match. Because let's be honest, most of our listeners are stateside. They've got plenty of wrestling to choose from their local stuff to all the stuff on TV. Why should they give a shit about this match? And why should they give a shit about the IWGP, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and obviously Wrestle Kingdom? Tell us.
Well, to tell you about Marufuji, this dude is probably one of the biggest, post GCW people. So for those who don't know GCW, that's Pro Wrestling Noah. And I recommend looking into it, but they had a very huge period in the 90s. But then after Mitsuharu Misawa's death, they kind of fell off. He was a huge tentpole for it. And when I tell you this man is some of the most athletic, bananas ass wrestling ever, this dude was Ospreay before Ospreay. Let that sink in. Like, maybe not as rotation-wise, but as far as innovative offense and crazy shit that this man did, he's the guy who invented the code breaker. You know, the classic ass Jericho.
Yeah, of course, bro.
He's the man who invented it, and it's the craziest shit.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that because the go to sleep also is not, going back to our previous conversation. The go to sleep, for example, not a CM Punk originated move. It was originated by whom?
Kenta.
Yeah,
Kenta.
exactly.
All caps. Yeah. It's not Kenta. It's Kenta. You got to say it. Yeah,
Kenta.
There you go.
Yeah,
Kenta.
Okay,
yeah.
Kenta.
But to tell you how much this match, just thinking about this match, I saw the screenshot on Facebook Night Out. When I saw the announcement for this, I'm like, I already started this. Kota will always be overrated. Jared, this is where we got to disagree, brother.
Here we go.
5 stars out. What it will deliver. Now, I appreciate them now, Michiro. What is it? The praise? Excuse me. The praise though, because he is amazing. But to me, Kota is that dude. Trust me. And for those of you who haven't seen his matches, you need to check out some of his stuff in Japan, especially against Nakamura. It's one of those things where, do I think he could fit in with WWE? Absolutely. But did we want to jump into the questions for as far as the Wrestle Kingdom is concerned, Nidal? Because I mean, I could throw some of these matches out here if you want to try and talk about them. I mean, I'm up for it.
Okay, yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, really, the biggest one that I want to talk about, and I do believe we have a photo for this. If you boys in the back can help us out and drop that thing. I mean, this is really the one that people care about.
Yep.
Because this is the one that's a big deal.
Right,
yep. So I'm gonna give you a solid 3 minutes to hit this one, bro, because I know it's a big deal. There's injuries. There's a lot of other factors that are playing in. Everybody knows Okada. You know, his ventures over to the United States. There's some uncertainty there. Obviously, you know, the news with AEW and all this. So why don't you go ahead and bring everybody up to speed? Because as far as I know, and when it comes to the Wrestle Talk podcast team, you and Skywalker are the ones that keep your finger on the pulse most on everything going over in Japan. What do you got for us?
Well, for starters, we're trying to figure out what's going on with Bryan Danielson. We know that the injury happened. I don't know if it's a work anymore or not, because I know he just did the match recently with was it Daniel Garcia? I can't remember. But as far as, we just want to make sure that he actually shows up to the event, because I mean, it's not going to be a huge match if this dude's, you know, got duct tape holding him together. It's going to be a big thing. But the big one is the fact that apparently Okada's set to become a free agent in 2024. So we actually had that as a question, but I figure we can just kind of, you know, transition into it, kind of float over into it regarding his status. And that is that, where is Okada going to end up? I mean, obviously the most common sense thing is that he stays in Japan and just renews his contract. But with his appearance set in TNA, actually, he's going to show up in their next pay-per-view. He did have his start there. So for those of you who don't know, he does have connection. It's not just him showing up for no reason. Do we potentially see Okada jump ship to another company? I mean, do we see him jump into WWE? Do we see him jump to AEW? Do we see him jump to TNA, especially now that they have their huge rebrand? I mean, what do you do when you have a company like that where he got his start in? Does he become like a main player just doing his status there? I mean, hell, do we see him just jump to GCW? I mean, we didn't think, Pro Wrestling Noah, we didn't think Kota Ibushi would show up in that ring. All of a sudden, he's rocking up like he owns the place. So there's a lot going forward into this match, but we all know that something's very guaranteed and that this is probably going to break the Meltzer scale. Let's be real. This is probably, when I think the phrase 6-star match, I don't really try to apply it to too many matches because it kind of devalues what a 5-star match is supposed to be. But if I were to ever think a potential match of the year, because this sells itself, folks, especially off the back of the Forbidden Door 2 pay-per-view with Okada with a loss. We were talking about this last show. When I think of potential 6-star match, this is the match that I can think of. But just to throw it to you, Night Owl.
Okay. No, it's fine. It's fine. No, I just read this comment from Jared. Listen, bro, I'm 6'1", 315. I could choke out a lot of cats. And in a real hand-to-hand type situation. Inside the wrestling ring, I got nothing on Kota Ibushi, bro. First of all, before I even got inside the ring, I'd be gassed. I'd be like, yo, somebody give me a hot dog and some IV so I can get my ass back up and move it. But towel. Yeah, bro, with all due respect, yeah, bro, I'm nowhere near the athlete that I used to be, though. Another quick comment here says, big question. Okay, uninjured, make it okay. Okada, will he go to WWE? Okay, so let's talk about the Daniel Bryan injury just a little bit more. So we got news about him not only having the injury, but still going through, right? We saw the eye patch and the whole deal. But also we talked about him gaining some authority backstage in AEW. So, Gabe, I know, again, we're talking New Japan, how it translates to the United States. I think AEW is the best bridge of that for this point. How does that new role affect how people look at Daniel Bryan? Because if you're handing out the punishment and you're the one sending guys to suspension, does that, encourage you to try to get work through Daniel Bryan more? And these guys that are outside the company presently that may be looking to come in, or does it encourage you? You go, this guy's got more pull. He's handling the disciplinary action. A lot of people seem to have a lot of respect for Daniel Bryan. I think in a way, if this was 1990, he's kind of going to be serving the Undertaker wrestler court role, is what it sounded like to me. It sounded like a former role that'll be handled somewhat informally. You know what I mean? I think, is there a better mediator in wrestling than Daniel Bryan? I'm not sure, because he's had success on both the indie at the highest level and at the big show at the highest level. I think it's a great thing for him, but the injury is a factor, his opponent's a factor, and this role is a factor. How do you think it plays out?
In regards to the role, I think this is a positive thing. I think just because I really want to hold out Narc Danielson.
You're calling him a narc?
Oh gosh, what are we in
There's a little truth to that, though.
I mean, maybe, but somebody has to. That's the thing, is that given the shitstorm
that has, super telling,
given the shitstorm that's been AEW right now, especially in regards to the locker room, I think if anybody was going to spearhead that, Danielson is the one to take away from it. That's where I have to be as far as in regards to that, especially because I think there's a lot of people who are trying to spin this into a bad thing. Night Owl, could you agree to that? That a lot of people
a little bit, bro, a little bit, because listen, Daniel Bryan is a little tyrannical. Okay, I hate to say it, okay, but I know this is a fact, simply because he's going to expect guys to bring it to his level. Here's I'm going to give you a great analogy. What I think is a great analogy for those that are going to understand it. Michael Jordan, greatest player ever. Michael Jordan, worst owner ever. Worst general manager ever by a mile, Gabe. When he went to the Hornets, that team has not been in the playoffs once since he's owned them. He owned them for 22 years. He just sold a couple of months ago. He's no longer the owner of the Charlotte Hornets. And guess what? They're on track to make the playoffs. Not once during his tenure, when he was the disciplinarian, did they make it to the playoffs. Why do I say that? Because he ruined Kwame Brown. He ruined a bunch of other first-round draft picks. Why? Because his expectation was that those guys would be able to attain the level of success that he did, and unfortunately, I'm not so sure that they can uphold that standard. So when you got that guy in charge of disciplinary action, am I concerned that he's going to hold guys up to a standard that they can't keep up? A little bit, because he's been to the top of the mountain, Gabe. So for him, there's no excuse. There's no reason you can't do it, dude. He's like, I'm 5'11". I'm 5'11", 220 pounds. What's your effing excuse? I beat Bautista. I beat Triple H. I beat Randy Orton at WrestleMania. What's your effing excuse? And I think that's going to be hard for guys to deal with.
Well, and to add to that, Bryan Danielson definitely has a very I'm going to finish the match mentality when it comes to stuff. The fact that he's done it with a broken arm, the fact that he's had nerve damage, it's like, do we potentially see that kind of mentality when it comes to it?
That's what I'm worried about.
I can definitely see the concern, especially for that. But to answer Jared, but I do believe this new role that Bryan has assumed could ruin how people view him at some point.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
That's definitely something that is up in the air.
Right now, for a lot of people, he's still the yes guy. He's still that guy, though. I mean, if you watch any of his stuff with the Blackpool Combat Club, those days are long gone. Yeah. Long gone. He said, I'm going to kick your freaking faces in. I know you've seen that promo, bro.
I have seen that clip.
He went off, dude. He absolutely went off. But I want to make sure we get back to the question here.
Yeah, I wanted to throw it back to Okada, if anything.
Yes, absolutely.
Because we've had this discussion before, and I wanted to build off of something that you mentioned, because you had talked about Shinsuke Nakamura last time, where... So just to throw out the concept, does he go to WWE? Now, I know, with Triple H as the new regime, obviously he might be treated a lot better. I mean, we've seen this new idea or this persona for Nakamura. He definitely feels like he's hitting the gas now than he did before. But do we have the potential concern of, is Okada going to feel the level that he was in New Japan? because in New Japan, we know what we expect out of Okada. This man is the Rainmaker. This dude is a god. And I think that's a fair statement. I know people like to throw that word around a lot, but when I think of a wrestling god, and in terms of presentation and delivery, Okada is it. But do you think he has the potential to do that in any other company besides NJPW?
I'm going to answer your question with a question. Who else has done it? Who else has come from another country? And I'm not talking Rey Mysterio because he's from San Diego. It says it in his intro theme.
Exactly. Well, that's what 619 is. How many people don't know that?
Right, exactly.
That's his area code.
Who has come from another country and completely dominated another promotion? Kenny Omega. That's the one. That's the one. Okay, now you could say AJ. You can make some arguments. You can make AJ. No.
I'd argue
what
AJ
Omega did
gets his foot, or he's dipped his toe everywhere more so than
exactly right.
Exactly.
He didn't stay there for too long, but
exactly.
Omega did it, and I love it. I love it. So Omega did it, and Okada could do it, but just like everything else in wrestling, what's the booking looking like? What matchups? What level of are they going to give him? Because they did a pretty good job of it with Jade Cargill initially, but it's gone now, right?
But to be fair, Okada isn't, or Jade Cargill ain't Okada, though.
No, absolutely. But remember, the American fan values something different than what the Japanese value, the Japanese fan base values, okay?
Especially on the wrestling front.
Yes,
when it comes to very different pace.
Bro, they're very quiet inside. The fans are quiet until those big moments come. They're just if they get a 4-minute squash match, the Japanese fan is not happy in most cases. In the United States, a lot of times you're like, hey, man, let's get this over with. Why do we need to do this for 15 minutes if we know Damian Priest is going to freaking kill? Give me someone.
Damian Priest?
He's going to kill... No, somebody who's far below him.
Far below him?
Tozawa.
Why
give me a 15-minute Damian Priest match with Tozawa if I know Damian Priest is going to kill him? So just give it to me in 3 minutes. In Japan, they would make Tozawa a credible opponent for Damian Priest in a way. They're just so much better at that. And the American attention span, I make this argument every time that they go international, okay? The international fan is leaps and bounds better. Bro, even when we go to Canada, I mean, there was a Dynamite in Montreal just last Wednesday, and the energy in those towns, every single one of those towns, not just Chicago, not just freaking LA, not just Philadelphia, not just New York City, every single city, bro, Montreal, Vancouver, you name it, Toronto, they always go nuts. Saudi Arabia, UK, Ireland, Scotland, it doesn't matter. The fans deliver. Gabe, I just don't think that the fans here are educated enough. Forgive me, my fellow Americans, because I love you. I just don't think that they're ready for that, bro. Okada, the way that he tells his story, bro, very little talking is necessary. It all really just happens inside the ring. And unless they completely rolled out the red carpet for him, I just don't see how he's going to be able to connect with the fan, especially because of the language barrier. You see what they're doing with Shinsuke. They're having to regress him back to speaking Japanese because they're like, bro, we can't make you believable as a bad guy with your accent. As a guy that comes from a place where everyone has an accent. I'm Mexican. I was born in Mexico. And I love Okada, bro. I got to see the stuff with Omega. I got to see the stuff with who's your boy? That's right. I got to see all that. But I just don't know if the casual wrestling fan in the States is ready to really cherish what Okada is, bro. He's such a throwback. He's like, you know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of Aldis. Like, there's just this prestige, this respect. Like, I don't know why Aldis is a general manager. I'm never going to be able to answer this. But there's just this prestige and this respect that I think a lot of people will never get. And that's a sad thing because this dude could literally put on he makes a clothesline the Rainmaker, he makes it seem so important. Like when everyone else is using the super kick 18,000 times and removing the importance, Okada's going in the other way. His DDT feels important. His clothesline feels important. His entrance feels important. What he wears feels important.
Landslide, money
Everything
clip,
feels important. Everything.
It's a reverse Cobra twist, dude.
Yeah,
when
dude.
do you see anybody roll it up with a Cobra twist in
No one.
2024? Okada
Never.
does. That's who he is because he
Okada
is him.
He
I
is
just,
him.
but that's the thing. I understand the concern too.
Are they
because-
ready for him though, Gabe?
Exactly.
I don't know.
And then how do you debut that? Like obviously we know, you got the vignettes, and obviously, the fans are gonna start quoting it. And then the good part is that the educated fans can take the opportunity, because at the end of the day, you're gonna get the animosity, because there's a difference between the uneducated fans and the people who choose to stay uneducated. Because I think there's a lot of people who are just like, oh, I've never fucking heard of this guy. And it's like, fam, he was on AEW. Like, what are you talking about? You don't watch TV? Like, I'm sorry. Like, I understand.
They're cash.
Like,
They're cash.
Naomichi Marufuji, that's one thing. Because I understand that I'm like, hey, you got to do some digging. But with Okada or, with Ibushi or, Nakamura, it's like, that's the thing. The standard I hold Nakamura to is the level that I want Okada at. Because I knew jack shit about Nakamura when it first happened. And this was when I was just starting to get back into wrestling. I had seen, I think it was TLC 2016, and I started learning. I was like, oh shit, NXT's picking up. And my buddy at high school told me about this. He's like, dude, you hear about Nakamura? I was like, no, I don't even know who that is. And they had the vignette. You remember that shit? When he showed up to Sami Zayn for the Swan song, and he says, I have.
Come on, man. That was the beginning, baby. That was when we all
and then
found out.
That music, dude, he wasn't even in the damn ring. People were chanting Nakamura. So, and then that music hit. Yeah, that music hit like a knife against your skin, and you knew something different was happening. And I can understand the concern, because as somebody who truly reps Okada, like, I had the moment in Forbidden Door 1 where I was like, damn, Okada is the best, ain't he?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. But
and so that to me, I put him in a very similar pool as where I put Will Ospreay. I know he has the ability. Listen, I also put Swerve in there. Really, it's just about how they handle him. The dude has got it all. They've got the full package, the look, the ability, the talkability. I mean, everything. It's just the person that's holding the pen in their hand. Are they going to be able to kind of connect the pieces of the puzzle to really give us the story arc that we deserve? And again, going back to short attention span theater, are we willing to wait 18 to 24 months for a real payoff for a guy like that? I don't know. Now, you know what gives me hope? The whole Sami Zayn thing with the tribal chief and the Usos and that whole deal. We let that play out over a 3-year period of time, because they did an amazing job of grasping and keeping our attention. If they can do the same thing with him, it would be absolutely incredible. And for those that aren't just casuals, there are possibilities like this. And we are going to take a short break here in a second before we bring on our guests. I know everybody's anxious for the Kansas Luchas. They will be joining us in just a matter of minutes. But just really quickly here, Gabe, and I'll let you tackle this one because I think you're going to be able to speak to it better than me. It says, just imagine a Mania with Styles versus Okada versus Nakamura. The merchandise, the market for that match, just the name themselves would be a draw. Give us your thoughts on that, or any other dream scenario you can think of, Gabe, because I think there are a lot of them.
I think there is the potential for that. My only concern is that Nakamura Styles didn't deliver what we wanted it to. And I understand we're under a new regime with Triple H, so if anybody's going to handle it the way we need to, it's going to be H. The merchandise, I definitely think, is a talking point, because I believe Jared did mention that it's less about that he wants to explore other avenues, and more that Okada just wants to slow down, so to speak. And I think we can respect that for him. So honestly, the potential for him joining WWE, as much as we want him on that level, the question is, does Okada want himself on that level? Maybe he's just looking to get the matches he wants to get out of it. Maybe he's only going in so that he can feud with, Styles or Nakamura once more, or any potential feuds he might not have. I can tell you right now, there's plenty of people on that WWE roster that I would love to see square up with the Rainmaker. I mean, just off the top of my head, Oh gosh, Finn Balor is definitely a big one because I don't know if they've ever had a. Actually, they might have had it squared off in New Japan Pro Wrestling, but just to throw some others, Seth Rollins. I mean, as a potential, oh god, I just made myself fangasm thinking about what if after Punk. What if he's like, oh, nobody can beat me, and then Okada steps up? That would be different, but I mean, that's just me fan booking. That's like not happening. Like that's like ideal world where wrestlers, or excuse me, wrestling fans cheer for what you want instead of being wrestling fans.
Well, that's the exciting part, right? Like we can think up these scenarios. And now, I want to go back to Sonny's point here. Now that Vince isn't necessarily the quarterback, okay? Then these dream scenarios can all happen, right? Like we know the Forbidden Door pay-per-view and some of the things that we've been able to see. But man, like if I'm starting right now my wrestling fanhood and have no idea anything that's happened before this point, I'm still super excited because, dude, you never know who's going to pop up. And then you start to incorporate the fact that some of the biggest stars on the planet, right? The Bad Bunnies, the Logan Pauls, all these guys are stars. So I think with a guy like that, and then we'll move on from here, with a guy like that, you're almost hitting all segments of your fan base, right? You're hitting the young guys with some of the yeet, you're hitting the casual fans with some of the Bad Bunny, Logan Paul stuff, and then the guys like us, yes, give me CM Punk back, yes, give me Okada, yes, give me Ospreay, and you know what? They're going to tell a hell of a story as long, again, going back to my point, as long as it's written properly. And just based on your scenario, your dream scenario, bro, they need to hand you the pen because I want to see that. I want to see that, bro. Hell yeah.
I just want to hear the little metal clink of the coin. I just want to hear that ding. Oh! Everybody's like, Okada's in the building, and the money's
so for you,
would that
be bigger than the AJ appearance? Like when that moment happened, would that be bigger for you? Or is that comparable? What do you and I guess it just depends of who you're a bigger fan of, right? But for you personally, the Okada or comparing it to the AJ Styles debut, do you think it would be?
I think it would be bigger for you. To how they handle it, but I definitely think that the oh shit factor of he stepping into a WWE ring, Okada just kind of edges it a little bit, just barely nets it in the end because because I remember the moment that AJ showed up and I was speechless. I was like, oh, because I didn't know that he finished his last match in New Japan. I didn't know what was going on in New Japan. I just knew AJ from TNA. I was very casual into it. So I'm just chilling watching the 2016 Rumble. And then they're not cutting to the screen. And I'm like, what's going on? Why are they taking so long? And it just says AJ Styles. And I was like, what? I'm dumbfounded. I'm like, wasn't this moments, dude TNA?
Those moments will stick genuine with us forever.
Oh,
all right, guys. For those of you that are waiting, sorry to interrupt you, Gabe. So for those of you that are waiting, the Kansas Luchas will be joining us in just a matter of moments. I have it on good authority that Angel de Paz is already in the green room, ready to go. We are just waiting for Brusador Violencia to join us as well, and the Kansas Luchas will be here because everybody it's a highly anticipated interview, especially, Gabe, because of the history that I have with these two gentlemen. And believe it or not, they had something to do with the fact that I stepped away from pro wrestling commentary in 2023. A lot of people don't know I was very, very active in the Midwest for several different promotions doing pro wrestling commentary. And because of Angel de Paz and Brusador Violencia and some of their associates, I was actually forced to step away from living my dream of doing pro wrestling commentary. And we'll get into that a little bit more, but just a few minutes away, guys. A few minutes away. We are just waiting for Brusador Violencia to get into the green room, and we will bring them on. Before we do, I have a question for you, sir. Lucha. We talk about New Japan a lot. We talk a lot about United States wrestling. What's your history or what sort of experience do you have with the world of Lucha Libre or wrestling as a whole in Latin America, including your native country, Puerto Rico?
I'll be honest, I'm still new to it. Like, I mean, I'm open. I'm very much trying to look into the scene as far as I get a couple of notifications. I actually follow some pages on my Facebook. So I get notifications for stuff like AAA. I mean, I'm keeping up with Vikingo, El Hijo.
Oh my gosh, bro.
Oh my God.
Can we spend the whole episode talking about that guy?
I'd be down. Oh my god! Did you see he just posted a video he did where he did a moonsault? He hit the light
Dude,
fixture
a
on the
moonsault on
roof.
the ropes. He did the Undertaker, like what do they used to call that, vintage Undertaker? Except he did the old school.
Oh,
that shit was crazy, bro.
Just seeing this dude hit a light fixture, I'm like, he can't be contained. The ring isn't enough. Like
you make me want to find that shit. You make me want to find that.
I'm gonna find it for you. I'll show you later. But just search up Hijo de Vikingo light fixture and just see if it pops up. But
Hijo de Vikingo light fixture. Okay, I'll look it up.
He's so good. But like and that's the thing too, is that I mean I know we had the show with the Dark Side of the Ring with Bruiser Brody, so it's like, you know, to know that happened in my family's backyard, like it's crazy to think. What are they called? The West Wrestling Coastal? I can't remember, or Alliance? I can't remember. But the Puerto Rican division back in the day.
I don't want to lie to you, bro. I don't want to lie.
All right, we're just moving on. But it's like I am trying to diversify in that, especially with because actually a page I follow, apparently AAA is being slept on. They have a lot of good wrestling that's been going on that's just been kind of falling under the radar.
Well, they do, and there's a lot of great guys like Brian Cage wrestles down there. Taya Valkyrie wrestles down there. So there are certainly, like, they have no shortage of talent. I think the biggest part is just the exposure, right? Like, with so much great wrestling, like, do you really have time to start seeking wrestling out? And listen, I know we all make time for New Japan. I'm not saying there's not enough time, but a lot of instances, you just have to watch highlights, bro. Because can you really, truly watch every bit of program that you want to watch in a particular week? You almost have to do week on, week off. All right, this week I'm going to watch all the WWE stuff. Next week I'm going to watch all the international stuff. And then the next week I'm going to watch all the independent local stuff. I mean, dog, unless you don't have a job and you got hella bread, like, why are you supposed to keep up with all this shit? But that's one of those guys that people should know about. To me, Hijo de Vikingo, in a certain sense.
You saw him live, didn't you? Right?
Oh, yeah, dog. I saw him in Kansas City.
You got the match with Kenny Omega?
The Omega match
where he did
in
the
Kansas City.
The springboard.
That's a nominee for Match of the Year. That's a nominee for Match of the Year. I was in the house, me and my man Dewan. We was box seats, Cable Dahmer. Shout out to Cable Dahmer Chevrolet for hooking us up with those seats, baby. Bro, we was in the motherfucking spot, baby. We got literally the best seat in the house besides front row. We were in a box. It was crazy, dog. It was fucking crazy. I cannot wait to go back to another live event. By the way, if you guys don't go to live events, I don't care if it's a local, quote unquote, regular wrestling show or it's WWE. Just get out to a show, man. There's so much fun. You're always going to leave with memories. The experience is always great. And guess what? You can bring your kids. There you go. Well, in most cases, unless John Moxley's wrestling, there's gonna be a lot of
John Moxley or Ospreay. Don't give him a microphone.
Those crazy
pricks. Oh my god, bruv. You've seen that where they put bruv? It's
bruv,
like,
yeah.
You can say bro. He says bruv.
Bro, it's bruv with the V at the end.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, it looks like we are just moments away. Bruisador is finishing getting set up. I'm going to toss one more out there for you, Gabe, and we'll make this a kind of a quick fire because there was one other topic that we needed to hit. I'm hoping it come up on the randomizer, and we'll keep the conversation going throughout the interview as well, because I'm sure these guys are very versed in what's going on in wrestling as well. So let's hit it real quick and get one more topic on the board before we get through tonight's show. Let's do it.
I'm excited for the year-end show, though. Not to talk over the noise, but so much good wrestling.
Oh, shit. We're all over the Japanese wrestling today, I guess. Okay.
Anytime I'm on the show, brother, they can feel it.
I like that. Okay,
it's the weeb in me.
Let's see if we can get this. Yeah, weeb indeed. Looking for the right question to go with this. For some reason, I'm not seeing. Okay, I have it in my notes. It says, give me just a moment. My apologies, guys. I hate to be off cue, but I want to make sure I get this question right. And it reads, ladies and germs, while some on the roster continue to flounder, guys like Shinsuke Nakamura are finding ways to reinvent themselves. What do you make of this wrestling anime angle that Nakamura has recently brought to the WWE? There it is. Again, while some on the roster continue to flounder, others have chosen to reinvent themselves. What do you make of this wrestling anime angle that Nakamura has brought to WWE? Gabe, floor is yours.
Oh, I've only ever got to see the red mist that he uses, and just to throw this out there, you don't got to sell me on red mist. Trust me, I'm a huge Muda fan. Great Kabuki. So anybody, I mean, they did it with Asuka, and it's like, I mean, I'm not trying to, feed into the stereotype that every single Japanese wrestler in pro wrestling has to do the red mist. But also, I really like it, so I don't really know where to stand on it. If anything, I think this is a good thing. I think that this is going to inspire other wrestlers who don't seem to be clicking, or maybe things aren't working as well as they should be, to really sit down and think to themselves, okay, what do I have to do? Not just so much from a character perspective, but to enjoy what I'm doing wrestling wise. Because that's the ultimate thing that comes out of it is are these concepts they're coming up with their own, of like, an extension of who they are, what they want to do or be presented in pro wrestling? Is this going to keep them where they want to be and say, dude, I'm doing whatever I want to do every night? Like, that's that we were talking about it with Tozawa, where I'm like, this dude can go in the ring, but he's probably just content being like, bro, I'm getting to coast on. I don't need to wrestle every night. I get free chips and I get the sponsorship and dance on TV for like how much money? So I hope this is almost a stepping stone for talent in the WWE, because I think there's a lot of people where they're in a good spot, but I don't know that they're going to elevate. Like, just to throw a name out there, Chad Gable. I think this man has the potential to really crank it up, in the sense that he has that early Kurt Angle energy. He's got the chops to do the comedy, but we know he's a fucking Olympian. So if we can get him to really kind of, I guess that's just what I want this to be, is that I want this to sort of be a kick in the pants for some of the people to say, hey, you get to do what you want now. You don't need to be handed a script and say, here's your gimmick. What do you want to do? Who do you want to be in pro wrestling? But to throw it out to you, Naito, I mean, what are your thoughts?
Well, I just want to throw it back to this image here, because
So
after
clean.
all that,
this is what I want my comic book to look like.
Listen. Let people do what they're good at. Okay? The moment they stop being afraid of Becky Lynch's Irish accent, what happened?
She popped off.
Right? And I love that they brought Nia back, by the way, and that they're doing that thing now.
Working it into something. If anybody can turn a shoot into a work, WWE can. They're the case.
Yeah, and Nia can definitely turn a work into a shoot too. So.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's the thing. Like when they started allowing Asuka to do the right. The moment they start, I love it so much. But the moment they started letting her do that, bro, she cut it loose and she got into her zone. So this is no different. You got to let people do what they're good at, Gabe. It's really that simple, in my opinion. I mean, ultimately, Nakamura has a great ability to speak English. Yes. But if we really want to capture his emotion and not necessarily have to guess what he's trying to communicate to us, right? Because I got about 85-90% of what Nak was saying, but not all the time. And sometimes the gesticulation and the personification and the expressions don't come across. But when you give it to me in Japanese and you give me the subs, I know exactly what that man is saying, because it's all in the eyes, Chico. And you can tell he's not thinking about it. That's what it's at, man. I mean, you can just see it here. It's in the eyes. Yep. And the fact, to answer the question again, you're talking about the anime aspect, okay? So again, back to Bad Bunny, back to Logan Paul, right? Back to Logan Paul, back to Bad Bunny. What do people fuck with these days? They fuck with the anime.
You know how many people are still talking about? You need to check out. I mean, I need to watch it myself, but there are so many lists that I got to send out to you, bro. Jujutsu Kaisen. You know how many people are still talking about season 2 right now? Hopefully, a couple people. I'm not like scaring off the honkies. Excuse me.
We do that pretty well already.
PG
no, we
show.
We did the flag for them. No, it's not a PG show. We did the U.S. flag for them, bro. It doesn't matter what you say after that, bro. It don't matter. We did the flag. They're here forever.
But to add to what you were saying, it's one of those things where it's better to let Nakamura do what he does best, that's playing to his strength. Yes, he can speak English. He can speak enough English to where we understand what he's saying. But as a wrestler, and letting him speak, exactly. Well, and then just
sprinkle in the English.
Yeah, they could fit it in, just like they did with Asuka, or with Io Sky, where she just called her bitch. Like, that's all you need to know. Universal language.
Io's English is better than Nakamura or Asuka, in my opinion. And I think that has to do with age.
True.
Because Nakamura and Asuka are more my age.
I mean, that's
but
I also just wanted to
and
throw
Io is
that-
more your age, so I think that has something to do with it. Yeah.
Yeah, but then I guess I just like where you gotta throw it in, you know, because to me, when Nakamura gets to play to, you know, the crowd where he really gets to do it, I think you said it, you hit the nail right on the head where it's his expression. It's like you don't got to understand a word this man is saying because you know exactly what he's thinking. Just on expression, just on dialect, on cadence, because he is that level of wrestler where he finally gets to cut loose and really play to his strength, which is that he's Japanese and he gets to speak in Japanese, but we have that
It's so much
barrier
better in
broken down.
Japanese.
Exactly.
It's
And
so
you
much
get
better.
that barrier broken down to where we as the audience, even if you have the subtitles there, you can just sit there and go like, okay, damn, all right, this guy, he sounds like he's about to kill somebody. I think it was Gabriel Iglesias who said it best, where it was I'm trying to remember. It was Canelo Alvarez versus I want to say Floyd Mayweather, and it was like they had him in Spanish, and he sounded like a killer. He was like, "Pero mira,
Yeah. No, yeah, in Spanish, in
but
English,
you put him in English, he's like,
you
"Hey."
no, wait.
well, yeah.
He's like, what do he say? He said in Canelo in Spanish, right? And he's like, yo voy a derrotar al mi apuesto y lo voy a destruir. And then, boop, SAP button off. Yeah, he's going to beat him. I'm going to punch his face. It's just
He's going to call on the, ¿cómo se dice piso? He gonna feel it the floor
He's
and on like that. It just we don't want that for Nakamura. So this is good.
Oh, dude, that is so good. And listen, guys, I know everybody's anxious. I've gotten a couple of messages. The Kansas Lucias are in the green room now. The problem is we didn't get the right color of M&Ms. They said only green, white, and red. I don't even know where you get white M&Ms. That's number one. Okay, they didn't like the fact that they weren't the right colors. So they're saying, hey, we're not even going to come on unless you guys get these guys are worse than Mariah Carey. I'm going to be honest with you, Gabe. And here's the most troubling part for me. I think you're actually going to like these guys. Just like Stephen E.
I have a certain MO with the guests that are on our shows, don't we?
I don't know what it is. I'm getting some heel vibes. I'm getting some real heel vibes from you guys. Maybe. Okay.
Maybe.
All right. Last thing.
I'm not saying no.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Listen, we are going to bring the guests on in just a matter of moments, but I wanted to remind everybody, we are looking to give away some pro wrestling swag. So if you haven't done so already, go over to our Facebook fan page. Okay. Facebook fan page. Scroll down just a little bit, and there's a section right there called reviews. Currently, we've got 8 reviews. We need to get to 10 by the end of the night, and if we do, I'm going to announce who is going to take home some pro wrestling merch. I will announce it next Tuesday during our 2023 recap show, where we're going to go over not only our favorite pro wrestling moments of 2023, but we're also going to go over our favorite moments of the Wrestle Talk podcast in 2023. So thank you guys who have already gone over and done that. We're going to be choosing a winner here next week. But really, those reviews go a long, long way. And more than anything, thank you guys for supporting the Wrestle Talk podcast. It really, really means a lot. Gabe, you got something on your mind? I see you trying to chuckling, making faces over there. What am I missing?
Nah, nothing. I'm just you know, I'm just listening to the conversation. I'm tuning out.
Okay, it says here, it's like El Mata. His name is Spanish. He's excited, very sexy. English. El Mata Ratas. That sound lame. El Mata. Yeah, it sounds a lot better. I like how that guy rolls his R. It's pretty impressive. He's just dirty, you know, that whole deal. By the way, did you see him having to give up that title?
Yes,
man, my man looked like he was going to cry. That's your
just,
boy. That's your boy.
He is my boy. But, you know, look. He's my boy. He's my mentor. What can I say?
He's my man. Okay, we're gonna leave the weird stuff off this conversation because I can go in so many different directions here. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? And I hope we're not looking at a steering wheel here. Without any further ado, we're gonna. Hey, there he is! Oh shit! There's that sexy face. I can see him. You guys can't, but you will in a minute. I promise. Ladies and gentlemen, Gabe, if you would give me permission. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me and my partner in crime, Gabriel Arsen, to welcome in 2 fellow Latinos, 2 fellow men that have a passion for the professional wrestling world And unlike me and Gabe, these guys actually have the balls, the huevos, the cojones to get inside the square circle and kick some ass. Now, Gabe may be a little bits away from getting there. Me, I'm over and done. It'll never happen. I'm way beyond that point. But I'll say this. These are two gentlemen that should be respected, not necessarily for their tactics outside the ring in some cases, but definitely for everything that they do inside the square circle. Amigos, without any further ado, it is an honor and a pleasure to welcome in two guys that are passionate about what they do in the world of professional wrestling. Whether you like them or not, you got to respect these dudes. So get up and make some noise for the returning members of the Wrestle Talk family. They are Team Chancla. They are Violencia y Paz. They are Los Kansas Lucha. Hit it, boys. Violencia y Paz, welcome back to the Wrestle Talk podcast, gentlemen. Make sure you unmute yourselves.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, and it also helps. It also helps to turn your phone sideways so we can see all of your beautiful faces. No, you're good, Bruisador.
Yeah.
Hey,
That was
how
better.
about that? Look at those guys.
Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Did I
¿Qué
not?
pasa, mi raza?
I told Angel to leave those things at home. Sure enough, he's got his mom's chanclas in his hand. Come on, man.
We never leave the house without him, man. That's what we're due.
Oh, here we go. The fans are already speaking for themselves. Gabe, this is the first time you're meeting these gentlemen. I know you're already a fan from afar. Gabe, Gabriel Arcen, say hello to the one and only Bruisador Violencia under me and the one and only Angel de Paz below you. Say hi.
It's gentlemen, hello. It's just, I mean, just to have the opportunity to say that. How you guys doing? Good?
Oh, doing great.
Oh, you're muted, buddy. We can't hear you.
Is that again?
No,
Yeah.
A little bit of a mixed reaction here. It looks like the fans can't make up their minds. Half the group hates you guys. Half the group loves you guys. Dickie Richards, we already know whose side he's on. Let's start with you, Bruisador. If you don't,
okay.
I think we can hear you guys both just fine. But Bruisador, let's go ahead and start with you, man. You and I have a little bit of history. Obviously, I used to be the commentator for one of the promotions over the KWA. There was always a lot of animosity between my team, the commentary team, and you guys. I don't know where you guys currently stand right now. All I can say is, are things better or worse that the Night Owl is now gone and no longer working the KWA? Because as far as I know, you guys had something to do with getting rid of me, and I actually have a little bit of a problem with that. So I'll let you go ahead and go first.
I mean, I'm not really the one to talk about business. That would be Angel. I don't think we had that big of a problem with you. We just had a big problem with Kansas wrestling in general. We felt like you guys were disrespecting us. You guys weren't giving us the proper treatment that we needed. And as of right now, the reason why I gave that little because Dickie's there, we're not technically part of Empire at the moment. We kind of quit Kansas wrestling. So old stuff, do we really need to bring up the past? I mean,
okay, that's fine. Hey, listen, and I respect that. And personally, I'm happy about it. I'll tell you why. Because the way that you guys are going about your business, I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of. But man, when the bell would ring, Angel, when the bell would ring and you guys actually got in there and started doing your thing, I think that's where all the talking stopped and the action began. And I was always a fan of how you guys handle your business in the ring. Now, I was there for the cage match. I know that didn't necessarily go the way you guys wanted. But from this point moving forward, are you guys putting all that stuff behind you and leaving some of those tactics? Or are you still doing whatever it is that you have to do to get the dub? Angel, I can't wait to hear from you about this.
Is he still muted?
Look like we got a little bit of an audio issue with you, bro.
Oof.
And it doesn't look like you're muted either. So if you got to leave and come back, that's okay too. Don't worry about it. Live radio, baby. Don't worry about that. Okay. All right. So just real quick, we will get back to the interview very, very briefly. I just wanted to hit this one more time. Again, guys, Royal Mills Transportation, Nobleman's Barber Lounge in Kansas City, Missouri, Kincaid Arcade at the Oak Park Mall, Interstate 70 Sports Media. Of course, you guys know they don't just cover wrestling. They cover all things wrestling throughout the Missouri, Southern Illinois, Kansas, Oklahoma, that whole area. Little Popeye Designs. I know we talked about it earlier. The Wrestle Talk Podcast Sumbler, currently available for you guys. $20, extra $5 if you want your name on it, plus shipping. And, of course, the world's premier fantasy wrestling promotion. Okay, now, back to business. Back to business. Bruisador, I know you're still with us. We're looking to get Angel back. So let's continue this conversation because, Gabe, I want to give you the opportunity to jump in as well. You're not as familiar with these gentlemen, so maybe as a guy who's just getting to know them, we can kind of turn over an old leaf, open up a new one, open up a new book, and start to tell their story maybe from the new beginning since you are just now being introduced to these talented men.
That I am. I'd actually like to take the lead if I can.
Go ahead, man. Do your thing.
So as you guys know, I originated in Florida. I'm down here in Lady Lake. So not too familiar with the Kansas City scene. Thankfully, Night Owls got me informed. But I just gotta ask, you're very different in stature. Bruisador, you're a lot bigger. Angel, you seem to be the mouthpiece of the group. How did you guys meet? What were the beginnings of Chancla violence? I just want to know.
So I started trading under Billy Simmons. Shout out to Billy Simmons. I mean, we don't see eye to eye whenever he's running business and stuff, but he did train me. So shout out to Billy.
Paz doesn't approve.
Is he still muted?
No.
Am I good? Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now, brother.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, let's go. No,
All right, so go ahead
Billy,
and tell them how we met.
Yeah, Billy is very much responsible for us two coming together. I had taken a hiatus from the business during COVID, and I wanted to get back into the ring. I wanted to start something new, start something fresh. And so I went to Billy Simmons. I was invited to the Bears Den, as they call it. And there I was introduced to Bruisador Violencia. And that is where el Hijo de Violencia y el Ángel de Paz started what we are now.
What drew you to Bruisador? Was it his stature? Was it his just ability in the ring? I mean, did you think he was funny? I mean, did you guys get along to begin with? A lot of tag teams have a lot of animosity. They weren't friends to begin with. Did you guys have
both loved eating tortas? I mean, what else is there to talk about?
Yeah, after a couple of Mexican Cokes and tortas, once you talk over like that, there's no going back from there.
Gotta sneak at least one in there.
AKA that.
That right there could make you $1 million pesos.
Hell
Don't
yeah.
spend it all at once.
Yeah, which is like $14, but it's fine.
In all honesty, we kind of clicked pretty quickly. I don't know what it was. Everything. We just came up with ideas together, and we just automatically agreed, and we were like, oh, okay, this is where this tag team is gonna go.
Yes, once you come together and you hit somebody with a chancla for the first time, there's just a special spark that happens. And that is where Kansas Luchas, Team Chancla, and now Chancla Violence.
Chancla Violence! I love
New
that.
tag team name, yep.
Wait, is that your official tag team name now?
That is our official tag team name, yep.
Okay, so then on the poster, Team Chancla, little inaccurate. My mistake. Let me apologize for that. Man, my bad.
It's okay. We're working it. We're working it out for the Weddles because they don't understand what a chancla is.
Oh, okay,
yes,
gotcha.
Yes.
It's funny you mentioned that, Bruisador, because I actually have this for my next question. Not a lot of people have, the heritage to know the emphasis of chancla. I grew up, Puerto Rican household, very familiar. But for those who don't know, how did you guys end up on the name Chancla Violence? Like, I mean, did you have any incidents at
That's
home with
dope.
the
I want to know
chancla?
this.
Yeah, I gotta hear this.
So originally we were Violencia y Paz, and no disrespect, but the Wedos just cannot pronounce our names very well.
Valencia and Paz.
We had good
Valencia.
old Rusty one time call us
Rusty.
White Paz. That was
Oh,
Yeah, at least he didn't call you KY Jelly.
yeah. And so
I'm
then
tripping.
we went to Colorado to Rocky Mountain Pro, and we were like, we're Violencia y Paz, and they're like, can you come up with another name? And they just started calling us Kansas Luchas. So we ran with Kansas Luchas.
Well, it's
for a little bit.
Colorado. There's tons of Latinos in Colorado, bro. That's
yes,
crazy.
but there's also a lot of luchadores, so we had to specify that we are the Kansas luchadores. Gotta
you,
rep the
you can't
state.
just be the lone luchadores and
Nah.
And then
Okay.
D'Lo Brown actually, I think, crowned the name Team Chancla for us, right, Angel? I believe.
really.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think D'Lo Brown was the one that gave
own
us the
head
name.
roll and all. Wow.
Yes. We were doing one of our debut matches with the Rocky Mountain Pro, and when we came out, D'Lo Brown was the Chanclas. The Chanclas are coming. Team Chancla is here, and the Kansas Luchas are going to. Look it up online. You can find it. It's on
I'm
YouTube.
gonna have to check that out now, right? You're gonna have to find me that clip for next.
Arson. By the way, what did I say about wrestling and anime? We're gonna single shot here real quick because I think it's relevant.
Ooh,
Angel,
you got good taste, Angel.
I see what you're wearing there. That is sexy, by the way, bro. That jacket is crazy.
Got it all right here.
Oh my gosh! So we were actually talking about this, and Gabe, if I'm cutting you off, please smack me, okay?
But I think this is brother. Go off.
Okay, well, so we were talking about this, right? So right before you guys came on, I don't know how much of it you caught. We were talking about Shinsuke and the fact that he's bringing anime to pro wrestling, and instead of trying to belabor through the English, they're letting him speak Japanese. And I think this is relevant on a couple of different levels. Not only is it anime, also culturally, I think the being misunderstood is a problem, right? As a Bruisador was just saying that they couldn't even pronounce our names right. So how important is it to you guys to stay authentic to yourselves while also accommodating ease of remembrance? You want them to remember you want them to know your name, but you also don't want to call yourself the Mexican guys, right? You want to stay true to yourself. So where do you find that balance Shinsuke seems to be finding? Because instead of speaking more English, he's speaking less English. We used Asuka as the example when they stopped trying to force her to do English all the time and they started letting her do what, Gabe? What was that again?
Speak Japanese.
No. That was not what we did last time. You remember?
Do you guys want to know how to call somebody an idiot in Japanese? Quick lesson. Omae no
Yes.
hoka. Omae no hoka.
So I only know Baka through anime, so
that's enough. That's enough.
So I guess my very long question in this to both of you guys, and any one of you can take it first, is how important is it to you to stay authentic to yourselves while still trying to integrate yourselves with fans that are not very familiar? I mean, you guys are wrestling Western Kansas, Oklahoma. You guys are wrestling in areas where, let's just be honest, predominantly white country folk. So how do you find that balance? It's got to be tricky, right? You got to compromise. You got to give and take. I want to hear from you guys.
Well, I'll go ahead and answer first.
Please.
When my take is, he is violence. He is Brusador Violencia. It makes sense. I am Ángel de Paz, the only luchador that wrestles in chanclas. I always have my chanclas around my neck, on my feet. I'm wearing them right now. And so, what easier way of explaining who we are to the American people, to any race out there? Chancla violence. And that's how we came up with, going back to what we were speaking as well before of chancla violence, was we just decided to make it as simple as we are chancla violence. We throw chanclas, we eat tortas, we drink our Mexican Coke, because that is what we grew up with. That was our heritage. That is where we came from. When I used to go to Mexico growing up, the first thing I would do is buy myself a new pair of chanclas, go to the nearest taco stand, get myself a torta and a Mexican Coke,
Yo,
y
Angel,
vámonos.
tell them how they wouldn't even let you have the bottle. They
They
gave
wouldn't.
it. Yo, I see Bruce laughing. Bruce, tell them that they don't even let you keep the bottle in Mexico, dog.
Nope. No.
They
You
they
recycle.
That's right.
You
They
give
make
it back.
they pour the soda in for you in a paper bag.
In a paper, in a
No,
bag.
not a
Yeah.
paper, a plastic
A
bag.
plastic bag. Yep.
And then they
Straw in
tie
there.
it with a rubber band because that bottle is worth something to them.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, so you don't even get to keep the bottle in Mexico. Crazy. True
No.
or not? Am I lying?
No, it's true.
No. So be
I was
grateful you
telling a
get to
coworker
keep the
actually
bottle.
recently that didn't know about that, and it's hilarious.
What you mean you can't keep the bottle? Nah, bro. You got to give that shit back. They got to refill that bottle.
Go to any true Mexican restaurant and they will do the same.
Yeah, they
Last
don't
time I
want
was
you to
trees.
leave that thing there. Same question for you, Bruce. And Angel, I know you weren't done, but just I want to reiterate it. How do you stay true to yourself while trying to accommodate some of these fans that have not experienced our culture, our Latino culture, our Mexican culture, obviously the way that we have? How do you find that balance?
I don't know. It was kind of hard at first. I'm not gonna lie, because like when they would throw out ideas, what would be like, we're trying to be luchas, but we're trying to like kiss people's butts, I guess, type thing. Where it's like, is that too much? Are we doing too much? And then eventually we kind of stopped caring a little bit, and we were just like, this is who we are. This is kind of like how we grew up. And so kind of like it just came naturally after a while. We're just like, this is what we know. This is what we always did. Let's just keep doing that, you know? Like there was no, like when I came out with the Sarape, like I think it was like our first tag team match together, or our second or whatever. Like I didn't know how people were gonna react to that. They started to boo us, they started to cheer us. Like it just came naturally. This is just who we are. So there's no really forcing into it. It just comes naturally.
Love to hear that. You want to expand on that by any chance there, Uncle?
I mean, he's right. You know, there was maybe one or two matches that I truly wrestled in my boots and it just felt off. It felt like that is what I was trained to do. That is what I had always been instilled for wrestling, is that a professional wrestler on WWE or TNA Impact wears boots and only boots. But then I would see wrestlers that would wrestle with no boots. Matt Riddle would come out with flip flops and kick them off in the beginning of his debut. I thought that was really cool. And when I was growing up, I would play soccer, I would play football, I'd play everything in my chanclas. So when I started wrestling, in I decided one day I was just going to wrestle in my chanclas because that is what I felt the most comfortable in. That is what I knew that I would be safe in and I wouldn't get hurt.
Love that. Gabe, what do you got?
Well, I just wanted to add that it says a lot about, the cut of you guys as wrestlers, because they really say, the best version of a wrestler is just you mostly just dialed up to 11. So the fact that you guys kind of
Right.
figured that out early on, that just we're going to vibe our way that we need to, we're just going to eat tortas and chill in our, chanclas and vibing. I mean, I could definitely get behind
So
that.
dope.
So just to throw this last one out there for as far as my questions go, I mean, how soon can we see you guys in Florida? I mean, I just saw your page. You dropped up some merch on the little ashtray with the
Yes, the
lighters.
lighter.
So like, I mean,
Yeah.
I partake in some smoke, my friend, or myself, brothers. So I mean, how soon can we get you guys down here, bro? I'm down.
As soon as we can find any promotions looking for us to work, we would gladly come down. I mean, we're always willing to travel. Like we're always traveling.
Yes, and in 2024, we definitely plan on expanding more territories. Florida
Mhm.
definitely on the list. We would like to see ourselves in Washington, in up north, wherever we can go to spread our chancla violence is where we shall go.
I don't think anybody's ready for the Chancla violence yet. I saw that clip you guys had. You were taking it down to him.
That's how they handle business, bro. Hey, listen, and a lot of occasions, I have to admit, and again, we're not going to rehash too much of the past, but I remember seeing these guys go through some pretty steep lengths to get a win and do some pretty dastardly shit. But dog, always so entertaining, so fun to watch. I'm half mad, half laughing when I'm watching these guys work. Clearly put the time into their craft to be able to perform with some of the very best in the business. And that note said, I do want to ask you guys about your previous experience in terms of who you guys have had the opportunity to work with. Are there highlights? Are there lowlights? Are they awesome moments where you found yourself wondering, why the hell am I even doing this? Talk to us a little bit about some of the opponents that you've had, some of the matches, the stakes, the championships that have been on the line, things that have really helped make you guys what you are to what we're now referring to you guys as Chancla violence, right? From Violencia y Paz to Team Chancla to now. What are the matches that helped you guys get to this point?
Well, I'll go ahead and start if you would like, Brusa.
Yeah, go ahead.
But the greatest highlights of last year was really our rivalry that we had with JK Pop and BOD. JK Pop and BOD, Borucas of Destruction, very much important to the Chancla violence story. JK Pop and Rocky Mountain Pro were actually the ones that told us, do more with the chanclas. The chancla is a very important part of your tag team, so make it matter. Don't just hit someone with the chancla because you can. Make sure that the chancla tells a story and make sure it gives that impact of what comes next.
My man said, make sure that Chancla tells the story. I never thought I was going to hear that in my life. Okay. The only story it's ever told me is WAP.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I've ever heard it say.
A WAP says 1,000 words if you say it correctly.
That's true.
In the right hands, right?
Yes, bro. Basically, anyone named Maria. WAP.
Yes.
I agree. Yeah.
But with the match with JK Pop and BOD, we eventually came to win the Renegade Tag Team Championships and Renegade Championship Wrestling, who promotes out in Canyon City, Colorado, and Pueblo, Colorado.
Nice.
And one of the most favorite matches and the most entertaining matches that I believe that we had was the triple threat tag team match that we had with BOD and JK Pop that is on our YouTube channel. That was one of the most fun stories we have ever came to finish to tell. It was truly, if you see the rivalry on how it builds up between BOD and ourselves, and knowing the past history that we have had with JK Pop, for all of that to come together and for us to be able to defend the Renegade Tag Team Champions against both of them was a very special moment for us as a tag team. And
awesome.
Really is what made us realize, you are a luchador, but you don't have to do all of the flips in the world if they don't make sense. You don't
Blue
have
Demon
to.
Jr. didn't do flips.
No.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Didn't
El
do flips.
Santo, like, come on.
El Santo,
You
Mil
talking about
Máscaras,
that?
none of them. They weren't
You
OG
can
guys.
make-
They didn't have to. That was
Of
it.
course. No. If you are a good storyteller and a good luchador, a simple arm drag can go a long way. And that is what we learned from BOD and JK Pop. Is to really slow down, think, but don't think about what you are doing in the ring. Think about what the people are here to watch, to get entertained for the night. Because as wrestlers, we often forget, we are performers, and performers entertain.
Gabe?
Well, I just wanted to say, just to throw it out there, the chancla is mightier than the 630.
Please.
I love that. Okay,
Make
I'm gonna
it
put
a
everybody on this. Go ahead. Yeah, I'm gonna put everybody on the spot. Favorite, not best. Favorite luchador today. Let's start with Bruce.
Ooh, today? Ooh.
Today.
Oh man.
You guys got a little time down there.
2.
No.
Just 1?
Just 1.
Ooh.
If you could only buy one T-shirt, like say you go to a show, all the guy you could only buy one shirt. Who's your guy? Who you could only see one guy wrestle. Who would it be?
Oh man.
You want me to go first?
I might have to go Pentagon, man.
Penta.
I love Penta
Cerdo.
I love Pentagon. So, yeah.
I get a feeling that we're all gonna have different answers. Arsene or Arsen? What do you got?
Thank you, sir. I gotta throw it back to New Japan. I believe El Desperado. Just
Desperado, bro.
he's got.
El
I don't know if
Desperado
you've
was
seen his
It's
matches.
it's
It
so
just
cold.
he's
Yeah.
got the perfect combination. He had the final death match with John Moxley, and I was like, damn, this guy can really cover all his bases. It's like he's the junior heavyweight. He can do hardcore. He comes up with the with the guitar and everything.
That is
Just
shit.
something about the look. It like and then
And
just
it's
the
not
hair.
corny either, bro, because it can be corny.
Exactly.
It can be
It
corny.
can be.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can easily shoot past way too far, and it comes out, as cheesy or
That's
like
always been
hokey.
my gripe with lucha, like being a Mexican American, born in
Well, especially
Mexico,
in
raised in
America, they
America.
really dropped the ball on a lot.
Bro,
of
I'm just like, some of this shit's mad corny, bro. I'm like, if give me,
Mhm.
you know what I like? He didn't wear a mess, Al Del Rio, and I know, Angel, you gotta go, but Del Rio gave me, and I know nobody likes Del Rio anymore, but Del Rio gave me that real, like, this is a real fucking Mexican. Like, this guy, he lives it, he lives there, he speaks it, he eats it. His kids are, like, I don't know, bro. We don't have too much of that. I wish we had more of it. Angel, your favorite luchador today, bro? What you got?
Well, I'm gonna take you back to Triple A, and we're gonna go with Forastero.
Ooh, el forrastero, carnal.
Yeah. No,
If
I
y'all
just
don't know who that is, do the work, and that's fine. Because,
Mm.
or we were talking about New Japan earlier. This dude said a name. I was like, who? Who the fuck are you talking about? Forrastero. Tell us about Forrastero, Angel, and why.
Well, I don't know if you remember back to my debut in XWE, but I wore a mask from him
It's the
when I
worst.
first
The worst.
debuted. And so that was a very huge inspiration for me, seeing how he would just wrestle in the ring, his tag team work, his psychology. It was all a very, very important to me developing onto where I am today. And I still watch his matches to this day and just admire his entertainment to the lucha libre industry.
So is he still active today?
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
He is. Okay, born in 1994, so he's fairly young. And I'm not familiar, bro. So I'm gonna be honest. I don't like to pretend like I know who you're talking about, bro. Like
I just looked him up too, but
okay, you did too.
I
Okay,
feel like
and-
I've seen him. I think he might have been in the because I had just watched a New Japan Pro Wrestling, and I think they did a promotion. He might have been on the show, but I gotta double check. But not
He
to cut you
wrestles
off,
trios
Kyle.
a lot with his brothers.
Yeah,
if I
it was in
remember
that trios
Mhm.
matches. But
Yeah,
I like
is
him.
a lot of trio stuff.
He wrestles
As
trios
Yeah.
a lot.
Trios and tag team.
Mm-hmm.
I love to hear that. Well, that gives me an opportunity to do a little bit of research because I'll tell you guys what. Hold on just a second. Window. I want to open this up just so we can give everybody just a quick peek. Hope that's not an issue for anybody. Yeah, there he is right there. We're going to give just a quick zoom so you guys know what El Forastero looks like. Oh, that's not it. Sorry, y'all. There's the wiki page. That's just ads.
My man
Wiki
got the
page.
actual definition for forastero instead of the wrestler.
I guess the Webster's Dictionary is on point, right? 1994, Enmascado, AAA tag team champion. So you said trios and tag. Okay, so
Yes.
that makes all the sense in the world to me because you guys predominantly are working as a tag, so I can see where that inspiration comes from, and I'll definitely be doing my research. So next time I see you, bro, I'm gonna have a couple matches I'm gonna ask you about. Okay, so for me,
Oh.
it's simple, and Bruce, and it's kind of funny that you picked Penta because for me it's Ray. It's Ray
Oh.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. He doesn't have the catchy thing. He doesn't have it. Everything else, though, and if you've ever heard him, and I know that not everybody can relate, if you've ever heard him cut a promo in Spanish,
Mm-hmm.
he is MJF-esque in his
Yeah.
native language. He has all the same skill set, just in his own language. He's charismatic. You can tell that chicks dig him. You can tell that he knows he's better than everybody else, and you can tell that he can have great matches without trying that hard. You know what I'm saying? Like Ray Phoenix to me is that dude. And when he got that, he was the guy who took the belt off of Orange Cassidy, for those that know, the international championship, right? Like it was very short lived, but I would encourage you to go back. Oh yeah, bro.
Moxley, yeah.
Yeah, but he took it from Orange, right?
Moxley took it off of Orange. Yeah.
And then okay, my bad, my fault.
Which is, I mean, that says a lot about Ray. I mean, because we'll be honest, John Moxley is John Moxley. So
it's hard to beat that guy. I think
exactly.
In this this tournament that they got going on right now, I think he's number one, right? in the Continental Championship tournament that they're doing or whatever in AEW right now.
I have to double check the score. I think it's changed recently.
No, Wednesday. So tomorrow. So yeah, Moxie's in the lead, and I think he's tied with Swerve. Him and Swerve are at the top right now. But anyway, Ray Phoenix is my guy, and then we'll go around just real quickly here. Favorite all time Lucha. Bruisador, another tough one for you, bro. And again, I didn't send any of this to you guys because I like to hear genuine answers, but we're going to go the other way. So
no, I already got my choice, though.
You ready? Okay, shit. Oh, hey, yeah. Don't let me stop you, dog.
Easy.
I know you've been a champ. Who you got?
Dr. Wagner.
Ooh. Dr. Wagner. Lucha Underground stuff was good, even though he's a little bit older, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Wagner, easily one of my favorites.
Wagner. Maybe a little to do with Wagner's assistant? Maybe. I've seen.
If I'm gonna be that guy, gotta be Rey Mysterio Jr. It just when I think about a legacy, when I think about like just everything he's done, and then especially towards the tail end, like you mentioned, Lucha Underground, seeing him be able to kind of step back and reinvent himself, but also show us he's still got gas in the tank. And when I think about the idea, because he's still wrestling right now, and Dom is doing fantastic, but I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but when I think about the day that he finally hangs it up, we're going to be like, damn, what a career. Because it's like we have it. We have a good thing now.
He's already in the Hall of Fame.
I know, crazy. But you don't appreciate something until it's gone. So just to have him, when that moment happens, I think it's fair to say he is that one. But to throw it back to you,
Angel.
I'm going to go with Juventud Guerrera.
Ooh, Juventud. Yo, can we agree that the Luchas made WCW? Back when?
Yeah, dog. All day. We could talk about this.
What do you say, Angel?
Yes. As a kid, when I first saw the Luchas, and I just got excited because obviously I didn't know about my culture when I was a kid, and I was like, yo. I was like, Mexicans, and they're what? And I looked at more into it. And then my dad introduced me to AAA, and then that was it after that.
It's a wrap. Why Hoovy?
Hoovy, I just have loved his eccentric style. He's just such a badass with everything he does. Like, he doesn't really care, and he's very animated. I love the animation of Hoovy. I love the fact that he comes out. The reason why I have my hair the way I do is because of Hoovy. I have the long hair that I can bring out, but I keep it up in a bun just like this for the Hoovy. I come out and I'm as loud and in everybody's faces just like Hoovy was. And I'm just every time I saw him in WCW with Rey Mysterio and with Eddie Guerrero, it was just the most entertaining. I could watch their matches repeatedly all day. And just study each and every acrobatics that they had done. Y todo así. It was just phenomenal.
Well, you guys all had great options. And I'm sitting here, and I'm very fortunate to be able to go last because I get to think about it a little bit more. And I'm going to be honest with you. My choice may actually surprise you guys. My favorite all time is a guy named Ignacio Libre. Nacho.
Yeah.
It's Nacho.
I love that.
One of the reasons why we became a tag team was Nacho Libre was our favorite movie.
And Esqueleto.
Yeah. Just to throw it out there, though, I mean, are we referencing the actual wrestler he's based off of?
Yeah.
Good old Friar Tormenta. You know the story?
Friar Tormenta, bro.
Yeah.
So
that's
in the U.S. they have an equivalent. Yeah, very, very true. A lot of people don't know that. What people may be a little bit more familiar with is the movie The Masked Saint that was on Netflix for a while. That was based on an American pastor, just like the Friar was based off, I should say Nacho Libre was based off the Friar. So good reference, Gabe. I see going in your bag there with the shit.
I
like that.
These things, bro. But yeah, I don't know if you guys fuck with Tekken, but King,
I love Tekken.
With a Jaguar head, his story in the original is literally Friar Tormenta, that he wrestles so that he could have the orphanage and keep them up.
The orphanage and the church open.
Gotta throw it out. It's two great wrestlers to make the coolest fighting game character. Now to throw it back to you, Renee.
Okay, so you guys no, seriously, I have something even crazier than Nacho. My favorite Lucha of all time. Does a Lucha have to wear a mask? Let me just ask that question.
No.
Is that a requirement?
Nah.
Okay.
There's a lot of
So
great luchas.
okay, so my favorite, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, is not actually a Mexican guy. Matter of fact, he's not even really Latino. His name is Vampiro.
Oh, Vampiro, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Bro, Vampiro to me,
Okay.
first of all, so Taya Valkyrie, I'm gonna bring her up for just a second. Taya Valkyrie is the female version of Vamp.
Yeah, I completely
Kind
agree.
of Canadian, didn't really make it in the States initially, went down, Mexico City, did the whole lucha thing for a long time, kind of like Tony Storm did the New Japan thing.
Mhm.
So to me, Vampiro and what he was able to do within our culture is like Miklo and Blood In, Blood Out.
Yeah.
Vampiro is as Mexican as any Mexican, and he's not even a Mexican. Like the guys from Cypress Hill, you know that they're not even really fully Mexican either. But
Yeah.
they have integrated themselves into the culture that you can't even separate them from the culture. So for me, what Vampiro was able to do in Mexico for 20 years, his influence on American wrestling and the bridge that he could, because not a lot of people give him the credit that he deserves for helping build the bridge between Mexico and the United States. But then he has this match with Penta in Lucha Underground.
That was a great match, yes.
And listen, bro, to me, that was it. Like, I already had a tremendous amount of respect for what my man had done down there. Okay. And he had the paint. He didn't necessarily wear the mask. You guys know everybody knows what's up with Vampiro. But when he did that thing with Penta and they kept it a secret the whole time where the commentator was actually the bro, that to me at that time, and I was in my 20s, I think when I was watching shit, early 30s, bro, it made me feel like a kid again. I was like, bro, the storytelling behind this shit just was like, it's fucking Vampiro. Dude, I lost my shit. Like when the Hardys came out at that fucking pay-per-view like 6 years ago. I don't know if you guys remember the shit. The Hardy Boys came out, everybody fucking lost their shit. That was me when Vampiro came out for the thing with Penta. So yeah, for me all time, it's fucking Vampiro. An honorable mention to Taya, who's still active. Probably my favorite female wrestler ever. And she made her bones down in Mexico as well, even though she's not Mexican born. So yeah.
La Güera Loca, yeah, she's really
La Güera Loca, yeah.
She's really good.
She's kind of wild. Well, listen, we're running out of time here a little bit, so I do want to get one last question in, and if you guys aren't comfortable answering, I totally understand. So a little bit earlier on in the interview, we were talking a little bit about the past, and we were talking about your guys' time in Kansas. So share what you can. Is there a reason we're not seeing you guys in Kansas as recently as we were before? Disclose only what you're comfortable with, bro. We're not here to put you guys on the spot or make you uncomfortable or anything like that. But, for me, that I only get to go to a couple of shows a year now, I know that if I see you guys on the card, that motivates me to go. That's it. That's just Renee speaking. That's not Wrestle Talk. That's not Gabe. That's not just Renee. So what happened, if you can share, and is there something that could happen to help change that? Because I know that when you guys were doing your thing, bro, the reaction you guys were getting, it wasn't just Ray, wasn't just Dickie, wasn't just Joey. Like, you guys had a lot to do with that. And if people haven't given you your flowers for that, let me be the one. Because y'all had a lot to do with what was going on there, bro. Like, a lot. So if you haven't got those flowers, take them. And secondly, what do we do?
Honestly, it was a little bit of us not getting our flowers. We were doing a lot of the work and we were being overlooked. So we kind of decided to take a step back and go adventure off and see what else we can do.
Okay.
As a independent tag team in the Kansas circuits, they don't need us as much anymore. You got new tag teams coming up. I mean, you have your perfect hand-picked chosen champions that Kansas decided to have. And maybe the grass is greener on the other side. So for us, we're not just going to stay in Kansas. We have other places to go.
You guys are
We can go-
international. You guys are international. I understand.
Yes,
I understand.
we can't just save ourselves for Kansas. We have to go with our friends in Texas, with our family in Colorado. We should bring more chancla violence to Florida. There's a lot of new territories that need luchadores and lucha tag teams. So that's what we're just trying to do, with what happened in the KWA. It's business. it's just business. Were we hurt a little bit when we got our names mispronounced? Yes. Were we felt disrespected when everybody just kept booing us for being who we were? Yeah, maybe, but it doesn't matter because we're still going to eat our tortas, hit people with chanclas, and do what we want to do.
And
And
listen, and I'm doing my part to fulfill the stereotype. I'm drinking a lot of cerveza, so I think that's
yeah,
one of them
Yeah.
too. So salud.
así se hace para mi raza. Pero we will be in Kansas very soon. Actually,
Yes,
we will
yes.
just be on the other side of Kansas.
Got you on the West Coast.
Oh, Southwest Coast, but sí,
Oh,
señor.
Southwest. All right, all right. Well, good, good, because and that's still driving. And listen, I'm being a little selfish. I want to see you guys do your thing. Got to see you early. Clearly, you guys are much more refined. And I do have to ask another quick thing, just because people are always curious. The inspiration behind the mask, Bruce. I see your colors. I see the design. Can you talk to us just briefly about what went behind the idea of that particular design? Because I know you have a few.
Yeah. So, besides this is my mask for whenever I'm relaxing, chilling, or whatever. My actual mask, I don't know if people can tell, it's a skull. So like the white part's a skull.
Okay.
So two of my favorite luchadors. One was obviously Dr. Wagner, which I mentioned earlier, and the other one was La Parca.
La Parca, bro.
Always
LA
entertaining.
Park, La
Always
Parca, all that mother shit, yeah.
He was another big luchador guy. Those both guys really influenced me in my style and like everything. So when I was thinking about like what kind of mask I wanted the Calavera looking face for La Parca, and I kind of wanted like a square look like Dr. Wagner kind of had.
Like that.
So I kind of gave those ideas to the mask maker, and he just gave me like
Let
a
him
beautiful
create.
design.
Just like you guys, ring the bell, let us work.
Mm-hmm.
Love that shit. What about you, boss?
Well, I kept mine more to myself. The wings represent Angel, Angel, who I am. The wings are also a metaphor for me being able to fly and be myself. They say the lucha mask gives you a different type of personality. The lucha mask gives you superpowers, as Natural would once say as well, and other luchadores have said. So I'm actually very terrified of heights myself. The mask helps me remember that I'm not terrified of heights. And then I have my cross in the back, which is my paz. The cross is very important to me and my family. My abuelita was really huge into the Catholic faith and would always pray for us and would always um, bendecir us. She would do her best to just give us the grace that she could give us while she was still alive. So that is why I have the cross on the back is for my abuelita.
That's so awesome, man. I love how Bruce, yours is more focused on like your heroes and the people that inspire you, and you aim, to kind of achieve some of the things that they've achieved as your inspiration. And Angel, you are taking your inspiration from within, kind of adding your own personal touch, your own creativity. It just comes through. It's a beautiful thing, and I think that as similar as you guys are culturally, where you come from, the fact that you guys are both, from Kansas or whatever, like you're very distinct, and I think that's what makes you guys such a powerful team. Like the yin and the yang. You got the strength, right?
Oh.
Then you got the speed, and then you got the determination, you got the wisdom. And both of you guys have certain levels of each, but at varying levels. And so it's a beautiful thing to see. It's almost artwork. I've seen you guys perform in the ring against some of the very, very best competition in the Midwest. And here's what's really going to shock everybody. I think you guys are just scratching the surface. As long as you keep competing and challenging yourselves, the sky's the limit. Gabe, you're a fan. I'm a fan. We're not wrestlers. But I look at these guys and I'm like, yo, they're having great matches, great rivalries. They're working their way out from home and continue to expand. I mean, is the sky the limit or what, bro? Am I tripping? Because I really feel like that's legit.
Absolutely, especially because I want to try and mention something Dusty Rhodes says is that you two, I feel like, are each other's shadows. You know, that you got to stick together and you work better. That, you know, because most people, when it comes to a tag team, they want to say things like, you know, who's the Genetti? It's like, but with you two, I'm like, there is no Genetti. I'm like, they complement each other. You can't, like you said, the yin and the yang. You can't have them without
Bro, it's
each
more
other.
like Kane and Daniel Bryan with these two guys, not
There
fucking
you go.
Jannetty and Shawn Michaels.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're both Hall of Famers. yeah, no doubt. Well, you know
couldn't
what?
agree more.
I said it earlier. I think one of the keys to your guys' continued success is going to be competition. So tonight we're going to do something a little different.
Oh boy,
Gabe, this will be your first opportunity. Okay, I'm actually going to forward you the game show challenge. Okay, and forget the name that you see there. Let me send this over to you.
Ya va a empezar.
Through Messenger. Okay.
Ya va a
I just got
empezar.
it.
Okay, so what I'm hoping we can do is actually have a trivia challenge between Bruisador and Angel.
Ooh.
This
Okay,
worked
so
out so well last time.
I
Okay.
cleaned Sweet Angel last time.
Right.
No.
Okay, so this is an opportunity to rehash that rivalry because you guys are always on the same side of the ring. When you come to the Wrestle Talk podcast, it gives you guys an opportunity to kind of battle each other and see who's got the wrestling trivia on lockdown. Are you guys good with that?
You've
Yeah.
been talking to HCW officials, right? You're trying to put us against each other. I see what you're doing.
No. This is just for fun. No stakes other than bragging rights. That's it, bro. No, you guys are rock solid. I mean, clearly.
Loser has to buy the winner a torta. That's easy. I mean,
Oh shit. With a Coke.
Now
With
it's
the Coke,
personal.
In the bag. In the bag.
All right.
I'm
Gabe.
saying that because I know I'm gonna win. So
No, okay, here we go. Gabe, do you have the game show challenge?
I do have the game show challenge script.
Okay, I know that the name at the top is another name for a previous guest, so just ignore that part and run through it.
All right.
Okay,
I got
you
this
ready?
right now.
Take it, baby. Let's go.
All right. So welcome to this week's installment of the world famous Wrestle Talk podcast game show challenge. Tonight's contest is scheduled for the best 2 out of 3 falls. Our contestants are the members of Chancla, Violence, Paz y Violencia. Excuse me, just got to get the rest of this. In a few moments, gentlemen, I will ask you 3 questions about a particular professional wrestling topic. Whenever you think you know the answer to the question, shout out your answer. The first person to win 2 falls will win tonight's game show challenge. Do we understand the rules, gentlemen?
sí, señor.
Perfect. So
All right, we do have a little music to go along with it.
Oh. I'm on TV.
Hey, hi, Mom. Hi, Mom.
Got the fireworks.
Yeah, going in the background. Woo! All right, Gabe, take it away.
All right, tonight's Wrestle Talk podcast game show challenge category is first and last. I will give you both information about 3 professional wrestlers who have the same first and last letter in their name. When you think you know the answer, shout out your answer. The first person to win 2 out of 3 falls wins tonight's contest.
Ooh,
So do we understand the rules and the topic, gentlemen? First and same last or letter in the last name. Make
first
sense?
or last or first and last?
It says first and last.
Okay.
Person, do you have rules in Spanish?
I might have to get Renee to do those. But,
I can translate.
Okay.
Hey, just hit the SAP button.
ASA, okay.
Okay, right here. Hey, no seas mamón, güey. Vete a la...
Okay.
all right. I only have the script here, Night Owl. I don't have the actual questions. So.
okay,
sure,
you need the questions? Let me send them.
It's just like repeating. Oh, right. Hold up.
So
okay,
you
yeah. It was just that.
and we win.
So we both win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody has to lose. We buy each other tortas.
Yes. See, now you understand our language.
Here we go. All right. So question 1, gentlemen. Are we ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
No Nintendo. No Nintendo.
No Nintendo.
All righty. So question 1. This late professional wrestler played football for the Cincinnati Bengals. His son is competing in NXT.
Brian Pillman.
The winner of the first fall, Bruisador. That is correct. Brian Pillman is the Wow, I didn't even know that one. I'll be honest. All right, so now we get to move on to question 2. Bruisador, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Angel de Paz, are you ready?
I'm loading up my sports keto wrestling page right now. Let's go.
All right. So question 2. This late professional wrestler played football for the Los Angeles Rams. He was also WCW World Heavyweight Champion.
Ooh.
Goldberg?
You get one last hint. It's time. It's time. It's time.
Oh, Vader.
Winner of the second fall, Bruisador takes it. All righty. Is that it for the round night out? Or are we gonna do the third one for posterity's sake?
Wait a minute. No. I'm getting a message here from. Okay, so apparently we're gonna up the stakes here a little bit. Hold on. Okay, here's how it's gonna work.
Okay.
Last question. Okay, because Bruisador did win the previous challenge, is double or nothing. Meaning, if Angel gets this right, we officially have a tie. Okay, we're upping the stakes here because we got to put butts in the seats. Does this make sense to everybody?
Yeah. I'm down.
Is this something I-70 related? Come on. Let's do it.
No, listen. Hey, that's another podcast and a whole nother conversation. All right, double or nothing, Gabe. Pause. You get one last shot. Let's see what you got, buddy.
Let's do this.
All righty. Gentlemen, your third question. This professional football player played for several teams, including the Patriots, the Packers, and the Bears. He then went on to a commentary career and a professional wrestling career as a member of the Four Horsemen.
Oh, wow.
Oh. Batista? Dave Batista?
Four Horsemen.
Four Horsemen. Oh, wrong Four Horsemen. That's Evolution.
No,
easy mistake. They both had Ric Flair. It's fine.
Right?
Hey,
Arn Anderson?
Can I answer?
I don't know if that'll count.
No, I'm just kidding.
Is it Arn Anderson?
It is not Arn Anderson.
Damn. Tully Blanchard?
It is not Tully Blanchard.
Come on, we got to get through all four of the horsemen.
It's the fourth one.
Not a dime. Not a dime.
Never drew a dime.
I don't have any more examples. He played for the Bears, the Patriots, and the Packers.
Let's go through the horsemen.
Okay.
All right.
We already
Tully.
said Tully Blanchard. We said
Arn
Arn
Anderson. Who else we got?
The other Anderson brother?
Okay, you know what? All right, listen. You guys are allowed to Google starting now.
All right, this is just by the cusp. Whoever can Google it the fastest.
Let's go.
I'm going to let Angel Google it. Go ahead, Angel.
Google first. Let's go.
I think Bruisador just wants to know what the answer is.
Yeah, he's just like, bro, I'm not sure.
At this point.
I'm trying to figure it out.
Stan
right?
Hansen, maybe?
I wasn't really much of a Four Horsemen guy.
Original Four Horsemen or?
It just says Four Horsemen. But I won't say original, no.
No.
There's
a lot of horsemen.
Yeah,
there is.
A lot more than we remember.
Do you have any very obvious clues that you could provide us with, Gabe? Like,
honestly, the big one is just that he played for the Bears. I mean, because I know who this was.
It was for the Bears.
Dick Butkus wasn't on the Four Horsemen, was it? Was it Dick Butkus?
It is not Dick Butkus.
Rex Grossman. I got
No.
you. That's who it was. No.
Kevin Green.
It is
Kevin
not
Green.
Kevin Green.
All right, you know what? Here's what we're gonna do. Let's move. We all failed this one.
Do you guys want to know the answer?
Yeah, give us the
what's the
answer.
answer?
We failed.
It is Steve Mongo McMichael, folks.
Oh.
Mongo. You don't know Mongo? He's the only guy I know. How did
All
I know
right.
this question? I'm younger than all of
The
you.
Mongol, bro. Are you serious
No,
right now? How
Mongo, not
old we
Mongo.
are, bro?
Mongo.
Oh my gosh.
Mongo.
Just give us the last question, bro. This is ridiculous.
We got
This is
one last question, gentlemen.
Who came up with this shit?
Look,
Este
you handed me the
güero.
script, Night Owl.
I didn't write this
Es
shit.
los güeros, güey. Come on. We need
All right, gentlemen.
Spanish translated questions.
That's right. This challenge is culturally biased.
Yeah, just a bit. All right. So your final question, gentlemen. This wrestler played football for the Atlanta Falcons. He then went on to have one of the longest winning streaks.
Goldberg.
And just like that, Bruisador for the clean sweep against Angel de Paz to win this installment of the Wrestle Talk Trivia Podcast. Congratulations, sir. The spoils are yours. And Paz owes you a torta now.
That's right.
Torta time.
Yeah.
How you feeling about that, bro? Is it going to be the jamon?
Oh,
you know, it's got to either be jamon or asada, you know, or I mean, apachor, because, you know, that's how we got to go.
Okay, looking at this big guy right here, I'm going to be honest, bro, it should probably be a torta de nopal. And we got to cut down the calories a little bit. Like the boy over here. Look, too much. Fat boy vibes, you dig?
You can get it with the Diet Coke. We'll be fine.
Oh, let's go with a Diet Coke. Ladies and gentlemen, what an incredible episode here tonight. That's right. I'm looking over my shoulder. Episode 462. We're making our way to 500, and these are the level of guests that we're going to continue to bring you. Bruisador, Angel, before we let you go, man, please drop intel on us as far as upcoming appearances. Where can we see you guys? Talk to us about where folks can see you do what you do best, and that is get down to business inside the square circle. Please educate the people.
You go first.
So, Chancla Violence will be live in Garden City, Kansas, in Southwest Kansas, this Saturday, December 16th, as we go into the debut of the inaugural Southwest Kansas Independent Lucha Libre. That is going to be our closest promotion that we will be doing right here in Southwest Kansas. Skill presents GC Lucha. We're going to have one hell of a night, and we're going to bring Lucha Libre to Southwest Kansas.
Guys, before you move on, I have a question. Who is this schmuck up here on the corner? Because he reminds me of some other schmuck that just came on the show last week. Who the hell is this weirdo up here in the corner? Can you explain?
Schmuck?
Yeah, this weirdo over here.
That is Retro Red James.
Retro Red James?
Red James.
Why do I get 80s vibes from this guy? Why?
Bro.
It's in the name. I know. It says retro.
Retro
Yeah,
Red.
it's el compa.
I think we talked to his cousin the other day. We talked to Red James the other day. That guy was crazy.
Oh, yeah. Completely different people. Don't worry.
Completely
different
people.
Oh, yeah. No, see, Red James doesn't wear the fancy shades, but Retro Red James, oh, that guy.
This guy seems a lot
wear
cooler.
Those shades.
This guy looks like he wears a fanny pack.
Yeah, he probably does.
What's wrong with fanny packs? We have fanny packs.
I know you guys fanny packs and chanclas. Okay, go ahead, please. Finish telling us about the show because this is very important down in Garden City. Go ahead.
It is the first ever Southwest Kansas Independent Lucha Libre show in Southwest Kansas. We will be trying to do more shows here in Southwest Kansas under the promotion of Skill. If you go onto Facebook, you could look them up at Southwest Kansas Independent Lucha Libre. Lucha Navidad will be brought to you live December 16th at Hidden Trail Brewing in Garden City, Kansas. It'll be a wonderful combination of pro wrestling and lucha libre to come and do what we love to do best for the people closer to our home here in Dodge City, Kansas. That's really what we are trying to do, is come back home and try to share our lucha libre with our hometown people in Dodge City, Kansas, in Garden City, Kansas. Southwest Kansas just needs more professional wrestling, and more importantly, lucha libre. So that is where you will find us coming up soon. We will also be going to Renegade Championship Wrestling entering in the new year. We're going to be returning back to Pueblo, Colorado, I believe is where their first show is going to be. We're also going to make our Oklahoma debut at Majestic Championship Wrestling
Let's
on
go.
January 27th. So we're going into some new territory. We're going back to some familiar territory. But what 2024 brings will be full of surprises. For sure.
Very, very impressive.
Yeah, Corey Graves thinks so. So, hey, Bruisador, I know you're not a man of many words, bro, but I have to say, incredible job on the game show challenge. Gabe, I don't know if you had picked a favorite, and I know you weren't here for the last one, but are you impressed with Bruisador as the way I am? I mean, listen, we both know that you guys are super talented in the ring, but to come out and sweep your boy, that's a lot. Gabe, what do you think about that? That was pretty impressive.
The most surprising things come out of stuff like that, because books, it's like they say, don't judge a book by its cover. We're coming in thinking he's the big muscle guy, doesn't know anything, and then he knows the Brian Pillman question before I have the answer, and I didn't know it.
Let's go.
He hit the button the moment he clicked.
Okay, you gotta love having this guy as your partner because they're gonna look at him, and some people may underestimate. I know you guys. I know what you're capable of. I know how talented you both are, but people are gonna underestimate, bro. So instead of just having the brains and the brawn, you both got the brains and you both got the brawn, bro. That's a effing win-win, if you ask me.
We do it. We can.
I
always
love
got
that.
to keep them on their feet,
On their toes. I know. Spanish is your first language. It's keep them on their toes. That's what I'm here for. Listen, this is the most fun I've ever had talking to you guys, and I want to say this as we say goodbye. The harassment and the bullying and the tactics that you guys employ during your time with the Empire is part of the reason that I stepped away from pro wrestling. It was intimidating. It was a little scary. I felt like, hey, if I leave here, I know you guys remember I was out, and you guys kind of came around the corner, very menacing. I love what I'm seeing now. And not to say that you guys have lost your edge on any level, but we would have never been able to have this conversation before. And the fact that you guys have spread your wings like Angel's mask, okay, and that you've tapped into your inspiration like Bruisadors and are starting to get outside of your comfort zone. As much as I hate to see you go to Florida and Texas and all these other places that I can't get to readily, it is super refreshing to see you do it because you guys are growing, baby, like La Águila on the flag, baby. You guys are spreading it. You guys are getting your food in. You're getting eaten. You're taking care of business, and you're standing on it, man. So personally, I'm going to say this. We couldn't have had this conversation a year ago, but now that we're having it, man, I'm happy to have had it. And I guess it's only appropriate if I officially welcome you guys as true and core members of the Wrestle Talk family. So thank you guys for being here, man. That's good shit. Gabe, give us your closing thoughts before we get out of here, man.
Just to have an opportunity to really kind of crank up, just to have guests like you on here. I mean, because I'm the new guy going into this, but I can tell there's a lot of history that goes on, and it's fun to be on the outside looking in. And I just followed you guys on Instagram, so I definitely plan to look into all your videos and stuff. Like, you've gained a fan for life, and just to say, it's a pleasure to have you guys as a part of the family, and I really do hope we get to hear from you guys again because I can't wait to see where you're at now, and then to have you come back on the next show, and then just be like, hey, I was there, and they're here now.
That's right. And let me just say one last thing to inspire you guys. Gabe, I want to let you finish. So there was a guy who came on this show a couple of years ago. You may have heard of him. Back then, his name was Martinez. Punishment Martinez.
Oh.
And these days, you can catch him on Mondays and Fridays. And his name has changed a little bit. And he happens to be from the same little island this guy's from. His name is now Damian Priest.
Yes.
So allow me to be the first to tell you that we've had the pleasure of talking to people early on in their career. And I just want to make sure you guys remember, we love you. No matter where you go in this business, what you do and the sacrifices you make on the road, in the ring, they're not lost on guys like us. We appreciate what you do, and we thank you for it. So if you make it to that level, don't forget the little guys, okay? Don't forget. Don't forget about the Night Owl. Don't forget about Gabriel. We're always going to be a home to you guys. Just know that. Gabe?
Gabriel will never forget you. Gabriel, you've been an amazing host for today. Renee, you can bring us our tortas when we get to where we are, because that's how we are. And although
That's foul. Okay.
we do forgive you for thinking that us being over dramatic was bullying to you.
A little bit.
We do forgive you for thinking that we were going to stay with Empire for as long as you wanted us to.
I didn't like that. No. What are you talking about?
Pero we are members of La Raza. And being members of La Raza, we will always stick together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, funny story. You may not know this about me. And you did not know this about me. But that is the real deal. So I don't know if we're going to be able to close any better than that. Ladies and gentlemen, episode 462 of the WTP hashtag Let's Talk Wrestling. If you're here, it's because you love this shit. And at the end of the day, it's still real to us, damn it. Have a great night. We will see you guys next week for the 2023 recap show. Good night, everybody. Gotta let that beat drop.